Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is Luca. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys. Another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. I don't know if you can hear it, but from the acoustic, right now, I'm not broadcasting from my radio show. It's going to be from my studio. I'm exactly in a business in the Golden Valley. But this is not about the business. This is not about where I am. This is about the message I'm going to share with you. Unfortunately, when you become part of the media, and if you want to do it seriously, like I'm trying to do it, I think it is our duty, and I don't think this is unfortunate, this is an honor, honestly, to report the news, to report the facts. But more important, to give both sides of the aisle, the opportunity to share their version of things. Today, I'm going to share something that I think is very important, and it is not a private matter. This is about public. And I'm talking about the public elections, exactly regarding the elections in Mohave County for the sheriff position. As premise, before we go ahead with this show, I want to put a disclaimer out. The disclaimer is that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And this show, it is not a court of law, but it is just a court of opinions. And every time I bring somebody who has some opinions or allegations on anybody, I give, as my duty, as member of the media, the other side, the person or the people that they are called in, the opportunity to defend themselves, at least even just in the in the arena of the ideas, because that's what it is about. Now, today we have to talk about something that I wish really I didn't have to, because all the people that I have on this segment, they're people that I know personally. I know him as a business relationship, and some I have them on my show as guest. But this is, as I said, this is not about me. This is not about my personal life. This is about the commitment that I have towards the listeners and towards the truth. And this is exactly what it's come down to. Now, I have a person in front of me that I had him on my show at least a couple of times. His name is David Johnson from Golden Valley. And he has some serious let's say allegations, I think that's pretty much what it's about, against one of the candidates running for mohave-county-sheriff office. And the candidate in question is Mr. Schuster, that, by the way, I had him on the show. And also his campaign manager, Mr. Jim Leeson, that, by the way, not only I had him on the show, he's been also in my second hours talking about guns with me many times. And as I said, this is not about, anything personal. It is just about if somebody has some serious matters to share to the public, especially when we have a position that is a public position, because I would never put anything like this on the air if it was a private matter. If you have a personal problem, I'm not here to judge. But if you run for office, if you run to become especially a man that's supposed to enforce the law, I think we need to talk about this in public. And all I can say, I hope it's going to be a venue that, of course, is not this one, that everybody's going to get justice that they deserve. At that point, it's going to be, hopefully, whatever will going to happen. Let's see whatever. But my goal here is to just bring both sides. We can bring evidence, or at least the alleged evidence. Now, just to be sure, because this is a radio show, you cannot see all this stuff. You cannot see all these documents. Everything is going to be, if you go to lovegunsfreedom.com, www.lovegunsfreedom.com, on the homepage, it's going to be a link, okay? It's called the Schuster file, okay? This is about Mr. Schuster running for office, okay? And in that page, I will put both sides. I will put both audio, the audio with the allegation from Mr. Johnson, and of course also with the file that I've been receiving and I've been given by Mr. Johnson about this alleged violation of some laws that now we will talk about, coming down to campaign, okay? And also, of course, the version and the facts from Mr. Leeson and from Mr. Schuster. My only goal is to give you, the listeners, the opportunity to read, use your brain, and judge yourself, because this is, as I said, I'm not here to judge anybody. And more important, I want to remind you, I'm not here even to pander for anybody, because I keep my personal preferences as political preferences for myself, so much that, the last 2 years I became an independent. I'm not even anymore a Republican. Now, let me shut up. I'm here, and I have in front of me Mr. David Johnson, and I want to give you the microphone. I will talk less as possible, because now it's like you're talking to the public. I want you to make your case, like you were talking to also Mr. Leeson and Mr. Schuster. So if there is something to say, this is the time.
Well, Luca, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And as a voter here in Mohave County, the campaigns and the elections that I'm voting in, I research and I watch. So I keep track of the names and who's doing what and where they're speaking. And I try to get to every location I can to hear them speak so I can be an educated voter. Well, I was flipping through the AdPay magazine. You may be familiar with it or not. I looked through all of them looking for good deals on stuff, coupons. And I saw an ad for a gentleman running for sheriff, Mr. Schuster, who I've only seen in debates. And it was promoting him for the office of sheriff. And it was from an Apex, a company called apex-firearms, I believe it was. I've got the stuff in front of me here. Promoting him and supporting him in kind with an ad. Well, having been through several elections in the past, I know that people have been smacked on the hands for having corporate sponsorship of campaigns. So being new to Arizona, I've been here a year, I looked it up and I found the law saying, in fact, no, a corporation cannot make an in-kind donation. Now, I have nothing against either one of these men. I'm just wanting a clean and lawful election, and I want the people who are running to adhere to the same rules and guidelines and regulations that everybody else does. So I contacted the state elections board, and they said, well, the jurisdiction was in the county, which I liked. I like knowing that it's in the county, so I sent copies of it to the mohave-county-sheriff's office. I received an email back saying that they didn't receive all of it, so I finished it, and now they have everything. And this has been within the last 72 hours, and I've gotten no response on anything being done. But it's allegations and alleged breaking of the law, because I'm not a lawyer. So I contacted a couple lawyers by phone, and they said, yeah, you can't do this. I even posed it as, hey, I own a gun store and I want to donate money to someone and I have a corporation. They said, you can't do that. So I played, devil's advocate. I'm not out to burn anybody. I just want to make sure everybody plays by the same rules. And so I downloaded the law. I downloaded the ads. I even got some frame stores where I believe Mrs. Schuster thanked them for posting the ads, so it wasn't done in ignorance, even though ignorance of the law is no excuse for your regular citizen, much less somebody who used to be a law enforcement officer. And once you decide to run for office, is a reason I haven't decided to run for office, you need to do all the research, know what the rules, you need to know what playing field you're on, and you have a responsibility to your voters. This isn't a vindictive thing. This isn't because I don't like his policies or whatever. I don't even know the man, and I've only seen him in, I think, 2 debates now, and I have to learn more about all the candidates. But if the evidence is there, I will let better men and women than I decide their guilt. All I'm doing is bringing it to the table.
Now, I have a question. You gave me a photocopy of all these, I think there are 6 pages or so, that, by the way, I would like everybody to read on their own. I'm not even going to go through and read them. I'm terrible reader. Go to lovegunsfreedom.com. On the homepage, you will find the link, and you will see there everything I'm talking about. You will see the copy of the ads on this pay ads advertisement, and there is this copy of this Facebook printout. I don't know how did you get that, but that's great. And then you got also the copy of the law. Now, question is, what exactly says the law? You can read it for me briefly, because, even we are no lawyers, you are no lawyers. I would like to at least, the listeners get curious about the law, because I was curious too, honestly. I had no idea that there was even this law. I want to be honest. That's why, as you said, I don't run for anything, because I'm a regular guy, and probably I shouldn't run for anything. Maybe the only thing I can run is around the block here. But the point is, tell me please a little bit more exactly what is the number of the law. And this is an Arizona law, of course, we're talking about. It's not a federal law. And exactly what it says, if you can, if you have it ready.
Yes, I can. I'm flipping through them here, and I got to blow them up because my eyes are old. And let me bring this. My eyes are old, my body's old. Let me bring it up here. Okay. Let's see. Now, the law that I looked up that I got when I called the state elections board, and I just generally called them. I didn't even make accusations to them. I just was curious about it. It's ARS 16-919. And if you look it up, it says that no corporation can make a donation monetary or in kind. It's right there. Just read the law. Now, if I'm wrong about the interpretation of the law, fine. But there needs to be we as citizens have to be watchdogs. Our elected officials are not our supervisors. We're their bosses. So for me, it just goes to character. If this man didn't do the research, and Mr. Leeson, I found out through the research that he's the campaign coordinator for Mr. Schuster. So I thought that was kind of weird. A campaign coordinator should know these laws. Now, it was just a couple of good friends, in a good old boy network, and they just said, hey, let's run for sheriff, fine. That's up to the judge to decide the penalty. But the law was broken, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. I've stood before magistrates, and I said, I thought the speed limit was 35 through there. And they said, ignorance of the law is no excuse, and I had to pay the fine. So I'm just holding them to the same standard that we are.
And just to understand the gravity, because, honestly, something I learned myself, according to the law, here we're talking about Class 2 misdemeanor and also Class 6 felony. For whom exactly? How does it work?
Well, Doug Schuster, because he received the payment, is guilty, if found guilty, allegedly, of a Class 6 misdemeanor.
Felony, I guess.
Oh, felony. I keep doing that. It's a Class 6 felony. Now, the person making the donation, Mr. Leeson, is guilty of a second-class misdemeanor.
Allegedly, always.
Allegedly. And what that does is that puts the onus on the man running because the buck stops here. That's why the stiffer penalty, I would imagine, is that he should know. I've never run for office, but I've been involved in campaigns. I was involved heavily in Mary Bono's campaign in California and a few other Treasury and stuff like that. I worked on the campaigns. As soon as people came, and it wasn't, I don't want to use the term illegal, but because it's good intending people, but they haven't done their due diligence. The campaign only said, I'm sorry, we can't take your check. We can take so much from a person, up to a certain amount, but we can take nothing from a corporation. I
want just to play devil's advocate here because I'm just using the logic, okay? Supposedly, there were no money here involved. It was like an advertisement, okay? Yeah. Let's say somebody tomorrow, by accident or without my will, okay, wants to put an ad just because they love me so much, okay? Said Zanna for president, of course, or what? A president of nothing. But the point, let's say for Zanna for something, okay? And that person, just because out of their own good courtesy, and they put that ad out, and I was even aware, okay? Am I still responsible for that?
I believe the courts would find that it is not your responsibility, and for two reasons. One, you don't know the person. You have no understanding of it. But in this case, Jim Leeson is the campaign coordinator, and I have a screen store of his wife thanking him for putting the ad on. So there was knowledge on both sides. Maybe they had no knowledge of the law, but they had knowledge of what was being done, by who, and for why they were doing it. They were doing it to promote a person they think would be great for sheriff. If I had a corporation, I would love to be able to donate thousands and thousands of dollars in ads to elect Luca Zanna, whatever he wants to be. But it's against the law. I can't do it. I have to do it personally, and there's a cash limit and an in-kind limit, that meets it. So, one, the difference from your question, which was an excellent question, by the way, how do somebody just out there handing out bumper stickers that they spent their money on? You don't know. They had prior knowledge of this. They know each other. The man who perpetrated the act of putting the ad in is the campaign coordinator. And the guy who accepted it, his wife, posted up there and it's in the evidence that you'll see. And it's just, and I'm not trying to be mean to them. I'm not trying to, they broke the law. And just like the rest of us, we have to work it out. It's up to a judge.
I always like to say, allegedly we broke the law because, so far as I say, what do you really, now, what is your final goal? What is your expectations? I mean, you to contact the sheriff, and what do you expect now next?
An investigation. And if I'm wrong, I'll come on your show and apologize and say I misinterpreted the law. I'm just a regular Joe.
Okay.
But what I want is maybe we won't have a friendly race. I've seen some of the races going on in the county here, and quite frankly, I feel like I'm back in Chicago or somewhere else, the way they're slinging mud at each other. But if we can't have a clean race, at least we'll have a lawful and just race. That's all I'm asking for.
I think, what you're doing, regardless, it's good that you keep your interest. And as I said, it's the duty of every citizen to be aware, to be informed. And I tell you, through this show, I'm learning so much because some stuff I didn't know, like this specific campaign law. I mean, I knew that there were some limitations. I knew that corporations could not do that, but I didn't know also the gravity, I must be honest, something that I'm learning myself. As I said, this is not a trial. This is everything we're talking about here. It is just reporting somebody's opinion. And of course, all we want to talk about is to have an opportunity to at least a forum to talk. And I hope we can get to a point that everything is going to be clear. And how you do that? That's why normally we're supposed to live in a republic, that we have a due process, that we have at least people that they are elected to, like third parties, like, neutral parties, to go through this, investigate. That's, I think, the most important thing. We keep it civil. That's the idea. Now, I want to give you, because after you, I'm going to have, hopefully, and I think I will, Mr. Leeson and also Schuster. I will give them exactly the same time to answer to your point. Now, since this is recorded, okay, unfortunately we cannot have it today like live, but I want to give you this microphone, like you can talk directly to them, like we were in this room, and a message, whatever you want to say to them about this matter.
Well, first off, I just want to say, I mean no harm to their families or to shame them or anything. As a citizen, I just demand that if we're held to the law, then so shall be our elected officials, especially for sheriff. And secondly, I want the other candidates to know that if I find something on any candidate, I live in District 4. I care about District 4. That's what I watch. If any one of those candidates were to do the same thing, I would do the same thing. I would do my research. I have an investigative background, and I will pass it over to the authority that I was told to pass it over to by the state level regulatory system here for elections. And if I'm wrong, that's fine. But how can I, as an honest voter, see something that triggers, this might not be kosher, and not do something about it? Too many people today just look the other way. We see, I made the joke about Chicago, but look at all the times, that election fraud, voter fraud, and people do nothing about it. I sit there and scream at the TV. I couldn't sleep at night if I found something, again, like this on any candidate that I'm going to be voting for, because that's who I focus on. I don't have time to do others.
I think this is a healthy thing, honestly, my humble opinion. And of course, I'm sorry that Jim, Leeson, and Schuster has to go into this. But regardless, this is not about the person. This is about the process. The fact that we have an opportunity, even through this humble radio show, to talk about this in a civil way and to bring facts. And I tell you, I think the worst thing would be that there are things that maybe they are not clear, and people can always say, hey, but I thought that you were doing. No, we want things clear. And if somebody is innocent, deserved for sure to be called innocent all the way and to be proven innocent. That's the bottom line. Of course, remember, here we have a system that we are all innocent until proven guilty, and the burden of the proof, differently from other systems, like, for example, in Europe or in Mexico, like there is called the Napoleonic system, that the state doesn't have to prove anything. You have to prove that you are innocent. So in this case, if there is the party of the state, they need to prove beyond at least doubt that there is no crime. At that point, all I can say, I'm glad that we're talking about this in a civil way, and I really hope now in the next segment that you listeners don't go away. I'm going to have Jim Leeson and hopefully maybe even a little bit of Mr. Schuster. And I won't talk much. I'm just holding the microphone. That's all I do. And you can share your different opinions. And then at that point, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm here just to report the facts. Now, before we go away, as you know, this show, it's about freedom of speech. And I do not beg corporate sponsors, because otherwise I could even do what I'm doing here. I want to remind you, if you want to support this show, it's very simple. All you have to do, there are different ways. Go, for example, to zanaart.com, or maybe you can get some of my coffee, zanacoffee.com. In this way, we can talk about everything we want, and we have no chain in our mouth or on our mouth. We don't have chains in our mouth. Anyway, that's the bottom line. Now, a little break, and we go back to the next guest that hopefully is going to be Mr. Leeson from Apex-Firearms.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. or download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, guys. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. This is the first hour. As I said, for me, this is a very important moment because, I know these people. I know all of them. I know Jim very well. Jim Leeson has been on my show many times, and I consider him a great guy, seriously. So, but this is not impersonal. This is not me taking any side. As I said, the day I took this commitment to be on the air, and of course, I'm not a news reporter. I'm just a commentator and I have my opinions, okay? But regardless, I also try to bring you facts. And when I bring you facts here, I take no side. My only side is the truth. In this situation, I have no idea because I'm no judge. This is not me judging anybody. All I can do, though, I can offer to everybody who has real concerns when it comes down to public matters. Because this is not about Mr. Schuster or Mr. Leeson in their private lives. I couldn't care less. This is about somebody out there, a citizen, a concerned citizen, who took the time to do some researches, and according to his logic, according to the way he reads the law, he has some questions. And that's why all I wanted to do, give him the microphone, of course, and now I would like to give the time, the same time that I gave to Mr. David Johnson in the first part of the first hour, to talk about exactly Mr. Leeson, who is also the campaign manager for Mr. Schuster, for county sheriff. He can say pretty much whatever he wants. Now, let me first of all introduce Jim. Jim, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you. Normally we talk about guns. You always be on my show, and we always talk about the second hour. It's the fun hour. This is, unfortunately, it's not really fun, but, I'm sorry. This is my job, and, I'm glad that you are here with me because I want to give you the opportunity to say whatever you want. First of all, did you have a chance to listen to Mr. David Johnson points during the first part of the hour?
I did.
And his allegations, they're pretty serious. I mean, as I said, I was even aware myself of some of these laws, but it seems like he has some serious allegations. Now, I will shut up, and I will give you the floor, and you can say, answering to Mr. Johnson's points, everything you want. You go.
Well, thank you very much, Luca. And as you know, I'm a man of several hats. As Jim Leeson, I'm a citizen of Mohave County, where I certainly support the best person running for sheriff, which I believe is Doug Schuster. I'm also the campaign chairman for the Schuster for Sheriff campaign, and I'm also the owner of Apex-Firearms, LLC, which is a corporation in Arizona. And I'd like to state the following, wearing the singular hat of campaign manager today. And as the campaign manager of the committee, I want to thank you for bringing this to our attention, as we're very committed to running an honest and clean campaign. I think you'll notice that at no time have we or any of us, or even Doug Schuster, attacked or slung mud at any of the other candidates, and nor will we. We prefer to tout the reasons why our candidate, Mr. Schuster, is the best person for the safety and the highest constitutional law officer of the county of Mohave as sheriff. And based on the alleged allegation brought forth by, I believe it's David Johnson.
Mr. David Johnson, yes.
David, yeah. It'd be inappropriate to comment at this time other than the following. We agree that fair and honest campaigning is vital to a successful campaign, and we strive to be the best example of diligence and performance, not politics, in this campaign and in dealing with these campaign rules. And I certainly do appreciate the time to talk about why Schuster is the best person for the job of sheriff, and again, I want to thank you for notifying of this allegation.
Okay, that was it.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Yes,
There's really nothing else we can say. We're anxious to see the whatever allegation comes from, and we'll act accordingly.
Okay, very good. As I said, I'm here. I'm not tell you what to say. Of course, I would never dare even to think that. I wanted just to give you the equal time, if there was, of course, needed this equal time, because if that's all you have to say regarding the concern of these allegations, let's put it, it's not even a concern. That's a pure, real allegations of Mr. David Johnson. We can pretty much, that's all you have to say. That's enough with me. Now, I'm not going to ask you any more questions at this point because this is your official statement. Now, I don't know. What you want to talk about? I got you down. I had you down for 20 minutes. Now you put me a little bit off guard, but that's okay. I mean, I can do other things. I have so many news I want to do. Any other thing you want to say about anything related without going to, because I already I give the time to Mr. Schuster. And by the way, speaking about Mr. Schuster, He's welcome to be on my show. I'm sure you talked to him about that. I didn't directly call him because I thought you, as the campaign manager, communicating this information that I was communicating to you, is aware of all this, correct? Just to double check.
Yes, he was. I spoke to him last night in anticipation of hopefully getting him to be here as well. Unfortunately, he's out campaigning in the northern end of our county right now.
Okay.
So he couldn't commit because he was going to be in the car. And you probably know as well as anybody that the cell phone service in our northern county area is difficult.
Yeah.
In fact, all the communications in our county are difficult. In fact, that's one of the stone marks or the hallmarks of our campaign. Is that Sheriff Schuster, since he's been the only person running who has active and full duty as an actual deputy for over 20 years, he's aware of these communications issues and really wants to help fix the communication problems within the deputy's realm. All their communications are outdated, and he wants to get that fixed so that they can act safer.
All right, Jim.
But he's out there having a hard time with his cell phone service, so he could not be here today.
I understand. So no problem. Anyway, he's welcome to be here if he wants to answer. Now, you don't have to answer, but since I got you here, and I understand, my only question is one. And as I said, this is my personal question. And you don't have to, I'm not going to get mad if you say, I cannot answer, I play my fifth or whatever. I'm nobody, okay? I'm not here playing judge or doing anything. But just for curiosity, this advertisement that I saw on AdsPay, okay? There was, I forgot the date. Anyway, it's there. April 2016. It said, apex-firearms supports Schuster for sheriff. And there is a beautiful, a quarter of a page or something like that. That was your ad or not? Sometimes people can do anything. People could be anybody doing an ad. I don't know. Of course, easy to find out.
Apex Arms is a corporation, a limited liability corporation, and Apex Arms paid for that ad.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty much. As I said, I'm no lawyer. I'm not here to interpret the law, and more important, even the lawyer, all they have is really public opinion. At this point, I really think, as I said, my only goal is to give both sides the opportunity to communicate about this issue. You made your point today. Mr. Johnson made his point the first part of the hour. And at that point, I would like to say that all this is public because, this is not a private matter. So I will put on lovegunsfreedom.com. I repeat again, www.lovegunsfreedom.com, a link on the homepage that is going to be public. This interview, first of all, because everybody can listen. Of course, it's going to be on the air this Sunday. Probably people that are listening right now, it's being recorded. And also they can see, let's say, these allegations, let's put it in this way. And then at that point, my job was done, because all I say at this point, every citizen must read the law, every citizen must ask questions. It's our duty, as I said before. And then at that point, there are every different type of ways to we are not here to make our own laws. I mean, that's why we have a system that we should be trying to comply. We'll see. And I really hope, this is my prayer. I tell you, Jim, I don't know you as well as I wish, but I know you enough. We've been on the air for probably a couple of years back and forth. I hope all this is going to go behind, and if you done nothing wrong, you will be vindicated in that way, because that's all I can pray, because I don't want, my worst concern would be when somebody doesn't want to face the situation, and there is always this back rumor or back rumors that for me, they're very damaging my mindset. I don't like to have people that talk to me behind, he did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong, and if there is somebody to say, let's spell it out, let's clear it out now. So that's my only prayer I have for you and for Schuster, okay?
I very much appreciate that. And like I said before, I really appreciate the time to talk about retired Sergeant Schuster. And this allegation, as you say, and as I agree, is quite serious, important, and needs to be hashed out appropriately.
Okay.
At this time, we haven't seen the formal accusation. We're behind the curve that way.
Yeah.
And until we do, we really can't comment on it.
I understand, and probably
we look very much forward to it once all that's hashed out. Absolutely.
Very good. Listen, at this point, a wonderful day. Say to Schuster if he wants to be here and finish up. You still have, at least another 10 minutes.
I was going to say we probably have a few minutes left, don't we?
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't want to use this time to. I don't want to use the word is it?
It shouldn't be a free advertising seminar,
No,
because then you'd have to let everybody do the
yeah,
same
I mean,
thing.
this was
And
about
the
exactly.
forum is one thing,
Yeah,
but individuals doing
yeah.
one after the
My
next.
only
after
point
the
was
next, after the next is terrible.
this segment was about, you know, this specific topic. You know, I gave to Mr. Schuster like 1 solid hour, like I gave to other 2 candidates 1 solid hour about this, and I would give everybody who wants to be, I don't care which party you are, if you want to be here, and you get the same treatment. You know, I don't know if you heard the interview with Schuster. By the way, did you like the interview I did to your guy, Schuster?
Well, I listen to all of the ones that you do. I think they're all important and good, and I think that our county residents should get very active in this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that just don't have much law enforcement experience. There's a lot of people that don't understand the job. There's a lot of people who have very good experience, but not the experience that I think we need in this position. And I think it's very important that we listen directly to those candidates for as much as possible to make the most informed decision. That's why I'm in this race. That's why I support who I support.
Very good. Anyway, as I said, this is the hour about, I wanted to do more about these allegations. And, of course, if anybody else wants to be on the show, that, by the way, as I said, you know, there are people that they're running. I think there is a gentleman from Bullhead, and I'm sure about it, that I had him on the show. He had not any type of, let's say, law enforcement experience. But I tell you something, I want to be honest, you know, and Mr. Plow, you say Plow, help me out, Jim, is it Plow? What is this?
I've heard it several ways, but I've never met the man directly,
anyway,
so I'm not sure.
Plow. Anyway, you know, sorry if you listen. I know I probably am destroying your last name. But anyway, it seemed like, you know, regardless does he have any type of background, and of course, I'm not endorsing him, okay? As I said, I do not endorse anybody on this show. But the point is, I really believe that the sheriff, my opinion, of course, the sheriff position, as much as, of course, we need to have people who has brain up there and understand how to manage all these organization, I think the most important thing also is a constitutional sheriff who should have the opportunity to be anybody, even from the civilian world, because I believe really that we're supposed to be peace officers as sheriff. What do you think? You look at the sheriff as a law enforcement person or as a peace officer? What is your opinion?
Well, I think in both categories, he's the highest law enforcement officer, and constitutionally speaking, he's the highest law enforcement officer in the land. The difference is he's elected.
Mm-hmm.
When Schuster's elected sheriff, he'll be elected, but he also is a law enforcement officer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 hats to wear with both of that moniker. And like you say, anyone can be elected to that office.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an important distinction. And that's why it's so important. It's not just, I want to be dog catcher, not to belittle dog catchers, but if the feds come running, or if something comes over where there's a constitutional crisis, there has to be a buck stopping somewhere. That buck has to stop with someone specifically instead of a committee. That's what the job of sheriff is for. That's why it's so important that we pay attention to these things.
Yeah, I agree with you, and this is really important. So I think it's probably one of the most important elections we're going to face, because you know very well, 2016, regardless who president is going to be, you know, it's just that's the final puppet on top. Of course, there are some extreme, you know, we know very well that if we go straight to Hillary or Bernie, it's going to be a complete straight black and white, okay? But regardless, I still believe that, unfortunately, all these 3 letters organizations, agencies, okay, most of them unconstitutional, they're still going to be there. All the bureaucrats, they're going to still be there. So no matter what president really is going to be, this is a huge apparatus of bureaucracy that is still going to harass us and operate outside the Constitution and trying to come after our lives. So I really believe this is the election that we must be educated ourselves and to see exactly who's going to be, at least on paper, because nobody really knows. I think
you're right. I have to agree. This is why it's so important that we elect someone who understands their job and their role as sheriff in our county, as well as the constitutionality of it. And that's why we need to pick someone with strong moral character and a basis and value system that works for us, not for someone else.
I agree. Now, the last question I have, and this is not going to be concerned about this case that we already said. We wait and you made your statement. Did you heard, you know, I say that because I interviewed Sheriff Mack in the past. I had him on my show. And what I'm saying here, it doesn't mean that I endorse anybody. This is about Sheriff Mack endorsement. Are you familiar with the Sheriff Richard Mack, the former sheriff from Graham County?
Yes, I am.
What do you think about him endorsing, or at least having an officially endorsed Corey Merriman
as a constitutional sheriff. Did you ever get approached, or did you ever have a chance to, I don't know, to think about to approach Sheriff Mack to ask for his endorsement?
Well, speaking as the campaign committee chairman of the Schuster for Sheriff campaign,
Yes.
I can tell you that I have not met Sheriff Mack. I respect and I like him. I've seen him on I think I've seen him on TV. If not, I've seen him referred to on TV, but I've certainly heard him on the radio numerous times in many different venues. He's quite the constitutional guy. And I think our hat tip to Corey Merriman for getting his endorsement, and congratulations to her for doing that. The beauty of our campaign system is that we have a lot of very important people paying attention to Mohave County. He happens to be one of them. And she went after it. She's been in this campaign for well over a year, and she's laid a lot of groundwork. And I have to admit, in some ways, we feel like we're playing catch-up.
Question.
So my congratulations to her for bagging that bear as it is.
Question. Well, why don't you, I mean, after all, I think it's fair to ask. If I was running, I would ask if I agree, of course, with Sheriff Mack background, and I do. I mean, this is, for me, Sheriff Mack is, I wish we had him as a sheriff, honestly. But regardless, if I was your guy, I would like to ask for the endorsement. Why don't you ask him for? I mean, why not?
That would be up to retired Deputy Sergeant Schuster to go ask for it, and that would be up to him to do so.
Okay. Don't you think would be, I mean, you as a campaign manager, don't you think would be a good move? I mean, why not? If, at least have a chance.
I don't disagree at all. Like I said, there's a lot of endorsements to be had, and he happens to be one of them. So I'm sure he's on a long list of people we'd like to talk to.
Okay, I want to be fair. You know, I just mentioned the other candidate, Corey Merriman, endorsed by Sheriff Mack. Now give me one endorsement that we can brag about it right now on the air about Mr. Schuster. Who is the latest endorsement you got? Come on.
Oh, I'm not prepared to answer that, but I will tease you with this. We are looking forward to and proofing some very large advertising with very long lists in all the various advertising things you'll see out there, the various newspapers and so forth.
Okay.
With a very long and distinguished list.
Okay, so when you have the I would like at least hope, since I was the first one to break these. Not good news, but news to you, you know, as a respect. I hope you can give me the heads up and maybe be the first one to put it out on the air, don't you?
I will make note of that and absolutely include you on that list. Absolutely.
All right, man. Listen, thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate it. And keep me posted. As I said, you know, you still had another probably 10 minutes at least for your time, okay?
We appreciate that, and like they say in Congress, we yield to the rest of our time, and we look forward to that. Thank you very much, Luca.
All right, very good. Okay, guys, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We look at Zan, a little break, and then we go back to close up this story for now, and we have more news, and of course the second hour. Don't go away.
Open your soul to It's a state of mind. 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 It's a state of
And that was a State of Mind, musical lyrics by myself, Luca Zanna. Now, this is the first part of today's show. I know maybe sound for many of my listeners probably out there. You know, I am so humble. I found out I have listeners from Scotland, from Australia, Italy. Why do you really care about what's going on in Mohave County, Arizona, in the elections of mohave-county-sheriff? Probably you don't. But the point is, it's not about this specific election. Maybe for us, of course, in Mohave County, it is very important. This is about the principle. It's about how the people, especially in America, we have the duty to be vigilant. Now, I'm not taking any side. As I said, I'm here as a microphone. I want to give to everybody the same opportunity. If somebody brings me some concerns that are documented, and not about their personal life, I'm talking about their public life. If there was something in their personal life, let's say if you're running for priest, you don't run for priest, but let's say you said that you are a moral guy, and then you're going around screwing around little kids, yeah, we have a problem. Or if you're going to cheat on your wife, we have a problem. So that's my point. If you're running for sheriff, I really believe you're supposed to be above the average person. I would never go into your personal life, but if you're running for sheriff, if there is something in your personal life that would pretty much create a conflict of interest with the character that you should have as integrity, that's the point. Now, I said these allegations, they are allegations. In America, everybody is and should be innocent until proven guilty. As I said, I'm not here as a judge, but what I said, I have given the microphone after I reviewed the evidence, me not being a lawyer, but just, I think this is the credible argument that Mr. David Johnson brought to my attention. It's my duty as a media to share it with you. And that's why I posted on lovegunsfreedom.com. You can go to the homepage, lovegunsfreedom.com. You will see a photo at the top right with a link directly about this matter with the allegations regarding apex-firearms and the candidate Schuster running for sheriff. And as I said, to many of my listeners out there that they are out this county or out of the state, they may say, I don't care, but you should care. I tell you why. Because this is exactly, we can show how we can take this country back. Being involved. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that David Johnson is right, because I don't know. I can read the law, I can see the evidence, I may say, it doesn't look that great, let's put it this way. But that's why we have court of law, that's why we have, hopefully, a system that's supposed to do this in a professional way, verifying if somebody broke the law. And this is not just like breaking the law, like, you cross the red light, or you didn't have your seat belt. Of course, red light is pretty dangerous. You can endanger other people, but, there are laws and laws. This is about something more important. I believe, when it comes down to a public campaign for county sheriff, we should have the right sheriff. More important, we should have the sheriff the people really want. And also, nobody should cheat. That's the bottom line. And this is my only job, to report the facts. Now, I'm glad that Mr. Leeson was on this part. He said what he has to say. Honestly, I was hoping he was going to say more, but at that point, that's his, I'm not going to tell him what to say. He says what he says. Maybe he should even come here. I don't know. But I'm glad at least he was, cordial and to be here after he told me that he was going to be here. But all I want you listeners, my only goal is to bring you the facts. Document yourself. Go to lovegunsfreedom.com, check it out. Let's just wait that the system does its job. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And I really hope, seriously, I hope that, I know Jim. I met him in person too. And Schuster, I never really spent time with him, but I don't know much about him. But the point is, I hope it was a mistake. I hope there was no law broken, because I don't enjoy when somebody breaks the law. Seriously, I don't. Okay? But at the same time, as I said many times, when I come behind this microphone, I put the truth first, before even my personal friendships. That's why you're never going to listen to me. I'm never going to go on this show using this microphone to push anybody or endorse anybody. I report the facts. That's it. I keep my personal, of course, opinion. If you ask me an opinion, I'll give you my opinion. But I'm not going to, drum it over this over and over. All I say, bring in the facts, I share the facts. That's it. Even if we disagree, I don't care. Okay? And I've proven to you already in the past. And I don't want to repeat myself. When it came down to Mohave County business, I put my personal friendship aside. When it was down with County Sheriff Sheenan, I put my personal relationship, at least, we had really good, close relationship. When all the accident happened, the county property, I was not allowed to pass out the flyer with the voting record set on McCain. Guess what? The day, I'm sorry, I could not see anymore Sheriff Sheenan, the same eyes I was seeing before. And I had no problem to say that and to do and accordingly do what I did. Anyway, that's the point, guys. So, Mr. Leeson, Jim, I wish you well. I hope you can bring clarity, okay? I want clarity, seriously. And not say that mistake cannot be done. Everybody can make mistake, nobody's perfect. But if the mistake was done, this is not a private mistake. I think it must be addressed in a public way, and, it must be done right. Same story with Mr. Schuster, and same story with Mr. Johnson, David, After all, Johnson is just bringing some allegations. Let's see now what the DA or the county attorney is going to find out. And I'll let you know as I found out. And I hope, as I said before, that nothing really is going to happen, or at least nothing was done. I want something to happen. I want to say yes or no, with evidence and proofs. That's it. Now, let's move on. New business. This hour is about freedom, and sometimes it's really sad when I see the federal government, especially this administration, with this individual. I refuse to call him president. I wouldn't give him even the leash on my dog, and I wouldn't allow my dog to be, walking outside with this man when he goes to pee. Seriously, this man is a. I don't even know if he's a man. I really start to believe he's a devil, or at least he's some sort of an hybrid. But the sad thing is the people that they follow him still 8 years later. I'm talking about Obama, of course. Now we have the White House. You know very well, they all try to separate us with the minor little things. For example, the only thing they still can somehow recruit some zombies, it is about this agenda to completely destroy morally this country. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here as a saint, I'm not a priest, I'm not a holy man, I am the biggest sinner you can find around, okay? I'm not a moral guy. I wish to be a little better, but I'm a regular guy. Let's put it this way. I'm not bad, but I'm not perfect. But now you have a man with a group of people behind having an agenda to destroy us completely, even the basic foundation, the basic logic, 101 common sense logic, that they want to impose to all of us sexual preferences. As I said on this show, I don't care who you are. You can be a man, a woman, or between. That's your business. If you want to have a relationship with 6 women or 6 men, good for you. Two things I'd ask you though. I suppose not to pay for your condoms. I suppose to pay for your pills. And for sure, you shouldn't do not this in front of me. You should not impose your morality or your sexuality in front of me. Do it in the privacy of your home, and you can do pretty much whatever you want, of course, with the condition that there is no violence. Everybody's consent and over 18. That's fine. It's okay. So, not talking to Mr. Bigot here. Couldn't care less. When people start to bring out a situation, I want a same-sex marriage, you idiot. So you want a license also for yourself, so we're all slaves. But that's another story. We'll talk about that. The point now is this bathroom, this sort of complete travesty, should even be an argument. Unfortunately, it's becoming so real that the federal government, now, they're challenging the states, that they try to defend themselves and try to defend, more important, the business rights, the property rights of the business owners who refuse to allow in the same bathroom, for example, let's say you have a bathroom for ladies, Now, a man, just because he can claim, hey, I feel today that I'm a woman, he can go jump in the bathroom and unzip his little zipper, in front of your daughter or your wife. Are you kidding me? Seriously. I mean, this is pure insanity. Pure insanity. I mean, we are facing trillions of dollars of debt that is completely impossible to repay. We are facing, my gosh, whatever we can think about it, problems from economic turmoils. We have wars, rumors of wars. We are close to World War III. We got things that they're so serious. And now the federal government, is main, focus is to go after businesses and, of course, states who try to put some common sense. First of all, no, you are a man. I don't care if you think you're a woman. You still have something between your legs, and you still have, you don't tell me that crap that you allow now to sit next to my wife or to my daughter in the same bathroom, and maybe I hope that you behave as a woman. Yes, right. Where are the men? Seriously. In 50 years, 60 years, we became a nation of complete, I don't want to use the word. I should. Can I use? Spineless? That's the good version. And when I say fags, I'm not trying to say in a bad way. Because you can be a fag, you can be a person that, like other men. I have no problem with that. When I say fag, I mean a person that has no balls. Has no more, with this type of generation, we would already be here speaking Japanese right now, for God's sake, seriously. Are we still completely drunk of this politically correctness? Or maybe the hormones that testosterone, I wish it was testosterone, this estrogen that you eat 3 times a day with your burger, on your milk full of hormones, on the BPA plastic bag that you're drinking. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you completely became another human being. We need to stand up. Seriously, this is coming to a new point. So anyway, now we have this little puppet, empty suit puppet, what is his name? Press Secretary, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest invoked the civil rights battles of past generations in states. The past are pretty much, is comparing the states that are opposing this Obama crap about the same sex bathroom to civil rights. Are you kidding me? This is just about completely brainwashing a nation, completely nurturing a nation. As I said many times, if you have a problem with what I said, that's fine. But the point here, we have also another very important point. It's called property, private property. And I'm not your slave. I'm not working for you. This is my business. I have the right to make or lose money the way I like. So I should set the rules in my own freaking business. And if I do not accept in my business, men or women go into the men's bathroom, it's the same. It's my freaking business. And you, government, you are not my master. And so you, if you don't like what I do, go to buy somewhere else. Simple as that. That would be number 1 solution. But number 2, are you freaking crazy? Seriously. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care whatever party you are. Now, picture yourself, your little 6 years old or 7 years old or even 40 or even 9-year-old lady minding her business at the toilet in the little public bathroom for ladies. And out of the blue, you got Freaky Joe that maybe, I don't know, woke up in the morning and he had the revelation that now he's a woman. Guess what? He can walk around and he can zip out, his little thing between his legs and I'm a woman. And that's just for the shock level. Imagine the guy start to do other things. Seriously. Come on, guys. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. It's supposed to be about you have a brain or you are complete a zombie. Simple as that. Now, if you're offended what I said before about fags, I'm sorry. As I said, I couldn't care less, number 1. Number 2, this is not about fags. It's about being spineless. By the way, I know a lot of homosexual people, or whatever you want to call yourself. They have a lot of integrity. They have a lot of balls. They have much more common sense than some of the activists that they try to talk for all of you. That's the point. That's the point. I had guests on my show. They are considered openly homosexual and they live together. I have no problem. And these guys, they're great. Not because we have the same political opinion, but because they use their brain. They're not crazy. Okay? And I respect them. Seriously, I don't care about, I'm not here to judge their moral choices. I'm not God, I'm not a priest. And, I don't even believe priests should judge others. Okay, let the job to God. Okay? I'm here. Live my life, you live your life, we respect each other. That's it. I tell you, we need everybody here. And I hope more people in the community, homosexual community, or whatever community you want to call yourself, start to stand up and say, you know what? Clowns at the White House, we are not that stupid. Don't tell us this crap that is about civil rights. Martin Luther King, I think, if he will be still around, he would probably throw up. I hope so. Comparing this to civil rights. Anyway, that's the second part. Now, ready for our number 2. It's going to be about guns. I tested the Freedom rifle, the Don't Trade on Us rifle. Incredible news and deals. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, where freedom of speech is really free. But you know what? You got to help me out. Go to zannaart.com. zannaart.com. Incredible t-shirts there. Free shipping. Look up, speak up. Slaves are never armed. I'm not a slave. Check it out. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. In this world where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap. You deserve the best. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network. Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States.fm network. Second hour, back to guns. It's going to be all about guns. Some training ideas, some mindset ideas, tactical ideas, and the rifle. The Don't Trade on Us rifle. The Freedom rifle that I put together, at least the concept. Just to let you know, last Sunday, I went to the 7 Mile Club here in Golden Valley. 7 miles range. And I tested the first configuration of this rifle, the M4 carabine. And I was so excited. I'm so excited. Let me tell you briefly the story. I already talked to you about the basic configuration and the specs that we were talking about. This is going to be chamber in 223 Wild. And I tell you, I was kind of new to this chamber. Of course, you can shoot 5.56 and 223, as you know. But the level of accuracy and also the way this chamber is able to pretty much eat almost every type of round. It means from the good stuff, the brass stuff, 5.56 rounds, to the cheaper stuff like the Wolf steel case that normally may start to jam up a little bit when you shoot them in some more, other rifles like my Bushmaster in 5.56 sometimes get kind of touchy with this stuff. So I was very happy. I'm very happy about this one. And I'm telling you, I'm receiving already great feedback. And I appreciate your support, because this is not even anymore about making a buck, seriously. I really make almost no money on this one. It's more for me, an opportunity to give to every law-abiding American, to give them the opportunity to own at least a rifle and some knowledge and inspiration. That's what it's about. And let me just be sure, for our friends of the ATF or federal agencies, so they don't get too excited. I do not make the rifle. I am not an FFL dealer, okay? I created a concept. And what I do exactly, I found a great upper a company in the U.S., okay? I wanted to keep all U.S. made, where I can get the uppers made according to my specifications. And of course, I'm working on another upper. It's going to be the dissipator, always 16 inches barrel. And of course, now we have ready the configuration for the M4. And so I created this concept of this upper chamber in 223 Wild, at least according to my specs. Okay, you can find a lot of uppers out there. Then this upper, of course, is also personalized with laser engraved, "Don't Tread on Us," the rifle, okay, by Zanna. And there's a beautiful American flag, by the way, on the ejection port. So that's, I really think it's the first important thing. You get the upper. You go to freedomrifle.com, get the upper, and then I will direct you to one of my FFL dealers that I suggest you, they can guarantee you the best price to get the lower, the plum crazy lower generation 2, that combined with my upper, and you receive that in one shipment. So you're not going to pay 2 shipments. You're going to pay just 1 shipment. And a very, very reasonable flat rate shipping. You will get the lower combined with my upper that you will put together, and you will spend $499 for a rifle that you will put together. It's very simple to put together the upper and the lower. It's distinct. So that's the story. Not only that, you get the rifle, you get also the laser engraving, personalization on the ejection port, you get also a free digital download on my CD, "Don't Tread on Us," a beautiful copy of the parchment of the Constitution, of the United States Constitution, it technically would be of this United States Constitution. And of course also a ebook. It's almost done, this one, but you're going to receive it in the email, "How to Become a Rifleman." It's all the curriculum for marksmanship that I learned during the Appleseed classes. And this is from me. I'm just an humble professional student. That's why I am. But I'll share it with you for free. And then you also get the first 100 people would purchase the upper, and then of course the lower from the FFL dealer. Also a free t-shirt that I wrote, "Slaves are never armed. I'm not a slave. Freedom Rifle." So that's pretty much the package. Now back to the technical things. I tested the rifle shooting at 25 yards. I was very impressed. I was putting all the groups in 1 square inch, iron sight, no benches, just with a sling from prone. Seriously, even less than a square inch, some groups. They were really on top of each other. So I was very happy. Then we started to do at 50 yards, working at headshots. Excellent. I mean, seriously, everything was about less than 2 square inches. And then we go to 100 yards, and the group was way within 4 square inches. I say almost 3 or 2 sometimes. So I'm amazed. I'm really impressed. For the price, people, you can spend, of course, $2,000 for a rifle. And don't get me wrong, if you have the money, enjoy it. Seriously, I'm happy for you. But I'm trying to reach out here people that they're right now struggling a little bit, and they don't want to wait another 6 months or a few more paychecks to start to put the money down for a rifle. I would like to give them a chance to have a rifle right now. So this is pretty much. But at the same time, I don't want to give out junk. I want good stuff. By the way, the rifle also comes with a magazine, 30 rounds magazine, made in the U.S. Military specs, works perfectly. So just to let you know, guys, if you live in the state of California, and I know this station also, of course, is broadcasting from California. I'm sorry. I really am sorry for you guys. All I can pray for you, take your government back. Or if you don't want to wait too long, just pack your stuff, sell everything, and cross the river. Come to Arizona. That's what I would suggest, honestly, anyway. And, of course, if there are listeners from other states, Colorado, now you have new laws for 30 rounds mags. I mean, just check out your laws, and if you're curious to see the testing of this rifle, how it shoots, how I did test it, you should go through freedomrifle.com, www.freedomrifle.com. And you can see me testing it, you can see the lower. I went directly to the factory of the lower. As I said, this is for me an act of love. Seriously, I would like to do, call me a dreamer. I know some other people like, John Lennon, I'm a dreamer. I'm a different type of dreamer. I want every law-abiding American, man or woman or between, with at least a rifle and the knowledge how to use it. And, of course, also the knowledge of why we should have a rifle. Okay? That's it. That's for enough. Now, since, as I said, also clarify that I'm not an FFL dealer, I'm not selling you a complete rifle. I hope all the government's ears, they're happy with the answers. Okay? This is about, I'm just selling an upper. That's it. Still legal. I don't need any license for that. All right, guys. But go to freedomrifle.com. Send me an email. Send me your feedback. I appreciate it. Now, talk about interesting things. There is, of course, the black rifle. I can see already the paranoid, the schizophrenic, the anti-gun people, they completely, oh my God, you try to make more affordable this deadly man-killing tool, weapon. I can see, they have all these myths about the AR-15. Let me spell it out. They call it liberals myth. I call it fascist, brainwashed, zombies myths. They are not liberal. If you're liberal, you should believe in liberty. You're a statist. That's what you are. But let me just, because I want to be nice, I want to try to have logic, try to have a conversation. First of all, let me be honest with you. If I wanted to have a modern war rifle, and I have a budget I can afford, I wouldn't settle just for the AR-15. That's probably my second choice. And don't get me wrong, people say, why? Well, you're promoting the freedom rifle, don't trade on us. Yes, because that's the configuration of the rifle that I can offer through my knowledge, a package that you're going to spend less than a handgun for $500 or less. And there is a rifle, by the way, that you can shoot no matter how small you are. If you're a woman, if you're a boy, if you're a girl, if you're an older person, the AR-15 configuration of the Don't Trade on Us with a 5.56 or 223, you can shoot both, of course, in this chamber. You have no problems with recoil. So that's great. That's why I want to do something that somehow could almost be fitting every situation. But of course, there is not really something for every situation. The chamber of the ballistic and the performance of the 5.56 or 223, there's some limitations. It's not like really something that I would count as my first round. And of course, this AR-15 has a lot of myths that people may want to try to, I don't know. They need to learn a little bit more about it. Honestly, I think you can be much more deadly with a bolt-action 308 and a scope than with just an AR-15, if you know how to use it. Because after all, the purpose of the rifle is to hit your enemy at distance, not in close combat. Normally, you don't want that close. If you're a rifleman, you should be able to keep your enemies away at least 400, 500 yards even, with the iron sight. The 4 minutes of angle we've been talking many times. So, there is a lot of misconceptions. Of course, they know it. They just try to play stupid. But unfortunately, many dumber people believe that. Let's go through the 7 myths that the liberals, they really push or say about the AR-15. Okay? First of all, they call it the AR. The AR stands for assault rifle. AR-15. Guess what? Sorry. Let me just educate you because, I don't want to call you names. Maybe you just don't know. AR means Armalite. Armalite rifle. That was the first company who developed this concept, this rifle, exactly in the 1950s. So right there, it is not an assault rifle, okay? And just to let you remind you one more time, assault rifle is the rifle that you have a selective fire control. That means you can shoot semi-auto or you can shoot full auto or burst of 3 or more rounds. That's a fact, okay? So, not just because say AR means that this is an assault rifle. First myth gone, okay? Hope you understand. Even if you voted for Obama, you should understand. AR-15s are machine guns. Even there, I'm sorry. I wish it was true, so easy. No, you can't. The AR-15, they are semi-automatic rifles, okay? That means you fire one bullet each time you pull the trigger. That's it. unless you have the military version, like for example there are several types, it could be full auto or with a 3 rounds burst. But there are already very strict federal laws that you need to go through the different compliances to have access to the type of tools. That's what it is. So the average AR-15 that you can buy directly from the shelves without any special federal license, it is the semi-automatic rifle. So the AR-15s, please don't call them machine guns, because they are not machine guns, okay? Hopefully it's clear that too. Now, point number 3. So this is really about now try to bring some logic and facts about it, okay? This is all about. AR-15s use huge bullets. They can cause more damage than other guns like shotguns. First of all, very wrong. As I said before, if I had to choose one rifle only, and I have the budget, I wouldn't get just the AR-15 chamber in 5.56 or 223. After all, we're talking about 55 or 62 grains. Means a very light bullet, very light. I would definitely go with a shotgun. You can have, my gosh, 1 ounce of lead, 1 ounce. Or even better, if I want to stick with a rifle, I like 147 grains with a 308 or 762 by 51 NATO. So you see, honestly, it's a very different type of bullet. The AR-15 is not made for longer distances. It is not even made for material. It's made for flash. And honestly, it was even intent to kill. It was intent to incapacitate. Don't get me wrong. You got a good round placed well, it's going to knock you down. Okay? It's very fast. Can be effective. But no, it is not a big bullet. Honestly, in some states, for example, you cannot even legally hunt with the 5.56 or the 223. I mean, you can go out and get coyotes, but you cannot hunt big games because that would be not a clean death. You know, you're going to give them, it's too much of a small bullet. So it's good on humans, can be effective. There's a lot of good pros, like I said, light bullet, fast bullet, low recoil, affordable still. But, it's not exactly the bullet that does it all. Okay? That's my point. So it's not a big bullet. So that's myth number 3. I hope it's gone. Okay? AR-15s aren't used for hunting. Well, first of all, I couldn't care less. Any of the weapons the American people have the right to take, to keep and bear arms. Nowhere in the Second Amendment, right, was written because you must have a weapon because of hunting. It was never about hunting. So every moron out there, politician or idiot, who just said that, that gun or that rifle has no hunting purposes, and so what? So what? I never hunt unless I'm starving. The point, any of my rifles are for huntings. The Second Amendment wasn't about hunting or ducks. It's about defending our freedom, our republic from fascists like yourself. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Obama, the Bushes. That's what it's about freedom. It's called the Second Amendment. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall be not infringed. That's the bottom line. So, but by the way, just to disprove you anyway, even there, yes, you can also hunt with AR-15, mostly medium size and small, as I said. In some states, it is not legal to hunt big games with AR-15. Understandable, okay? So, don't mention ever the word hunting in a debate with me because you're going to lose. I'm sorry. Now, point number 5. The AR-15s are the most popular rifles in America. Honestly, I couldn't care less if it's popular or not. But you know what? If you want to really talk about popularity, Ruger 1022 is the most semi-automatic rifle most popular in America. I couldn't care less. Okay? Honestly, as I said, it is just another tool. Then, AR-15s aren't good for self-defense. Guess what? Who cares? First of all, it's not true. It is not true. I think it has a good purpose in some situations. And let's talk a little bit about it. Why you think an AR-15 can be good? Depends where, in which situation, and who is holding the weapon. For example, if you're a woman, or if you are, let's say, in a house, and you have a strategic position, like a position that you can be well defended, okay? I think the AR-15 can be very good because you can, first of all, have 30 rounds there instead of maybe the 17 or 10 rounds that normally you have with a handgun. At the same time, you have really little recoil. And, under stress, if you're not super trained, you may need more than one round. You may find more opponents. So that platform, I think, with the AR-15, you have a good edge there. You can mount lights. You can mount lasers. You can mount red dots. It's very versatile. Very easy to use to it after you practice, of course, and train. And also you have very little recoil, as I said. Now, to move around the house with that, you must have some training. Probably I would prefer to have a handgun on me. But in some situation, the AR-15, I think, could be very good self-defense for especially a woman or a person that maybe cannot really handle a shotgun very well. Okay? That's what I really think. So think about it. So that's, who cares? If people think that it is really not good for self-defense, you know what? Still, I want the rifle. That's my choice. Don't tell me what rifle I can have just because you say so. Vice President Biden, that moron that tell us, the first of all, very wrong legal advices, like if you feel somebody coming to you, shoot 2 shots in the air, and with your shotgun, they're going to go away. Yeah, you're going to go charge and probably arrested. You don't shoot in the air. These warning shots, they're not a smart thing to do. Okay? Many states, almost everywhere. But that's another story. So anyway, I really believe the AR-15 can be a good choice for self-defense, even in home situations, if you know how to use it. And if you're outside the house, even better. For example, it's a good rifle to have in the back of your truck. I mean, yeah, you carry your gun, but guess what? Let's say you get stuck in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, I like to have the gun close to me, not in the back of my truck. If I mention the word carjacking, give you an idea, guess what? Loaded up with the right rounds. There are still some steel core rounds out there, still, green tip penetrators. Not to compare, of course, to 308, but guess what? It goes through metal, it goes through glass. You can take care of a lot of things. Somebody tried to carjack you, even if you're semi-auto, you got 30 rounds in a mag, collapsible stock, or at least, short configuration like the M4. You can still maneuver it. Maybe somebody's driving and your wife can shoot at the enemies. People that are trying to carjack you. Defend yourself. What I like about also the AR-15, you do not have a huge over-penetration. May I tell you, let's say in the house, you shoot even with the 9mm, with your handgun, you will see that the 9mm slug is going to go through probably at least 6 sheet rocks. Seriously. Instead, the AR-15, especially if you use frangible ammunition or light ammunition, you will see that pretty much stops after the second wall, okay? Even if it doesn't get a wood. So it's a different type of round. It's more frangible. Now, another thing they say, the AR-15 are more deadly than handguns. You know what? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter. Honestly, the statistics says the opposite. More people get killed by handguns. Normally, criminals don't even have really an AR-15. What they really can get their hands on, it's a handgun. Okay? So that's my point. So this is a little bit to give you a little bit of conversation. So when you're going to get the Don't Trade on Us rifle, the AR-15 in the M4 configuration, be proud of it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be like, oh my gosh, they're telling me that this is just for killing. By the way, a rifle, it is to defend yourself from scumbags and from evil. That implies killing. Okay? So like the hammer means that you can pound nails, but in case you have to, you can also pound some heads in case you need for self-defense. So, you see, it's all about almost a word of game. I mean, games of war, you know. The rifle, of course, is for killing. But killing what? As I said every time, when you are a law-abiding gun owner, you don't shoot to take a life. You shoot a weapon to save a life. That's the way I look at this. The criminal will always find a weapon, no matter what. And if you had to, they will kill you probably with their knives or with their hands, empty hands. They will find a way to kill you, trust me. But my point is, you don't kill to take a life. You just suppress that threat. You want save innocent life. That's what a law-abiding gun owner should do. And that's where I stand. And I'm not apologetic about it. And by the way, I'm for peace. I'm the most peaceful person. I pray always, every day, every morning I wake up. And I get in my holster my gun, my magazines, my backup gun, my rifle magazine, and my rifle. That's the way I get out of the house. I always pray. I pray that today I don't have to use it. But if I have to, if I am forced to, I'll be the winner. That's the way it is. I already clear my mind. That's what it's about. It's about mindset. Because after all, our mind, our brain is the strongest and most important weapon. Now, don't go away. We continue, and we will go with the final part, some training ideas. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. And this is the hour about guns. In this world where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap. You deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com.
Fear comes in all shapes and sizes, and you truly do not know how you're going to react. Should you find yourself in a home defense situation, you need some tools to better be prepared for that. It won't be optimal. It will be scary. And it will be very, very fast. Because once he crosses the threshold and enters into your house, the game's changed. You need to get a plan together. You need to walk through it. A home defense situation demands leadership. TVs can be replaced, pictures can be replaced, but your family can't. You can't. Stay alive, stay prepared, and survive.
Imagine you're lying in bed asleep. It's 2:30 in the morning. Suddenly, you wake up thinking, what was that? Did I just hear something, or was I dreaming? You sit up, hold your breath, and listen, hoping that you don't hear anything else so you can just drift quietly back to sleep like you've done so many times before. But then you hear another bump, and this time you say to yourself, oh my God, this is it. The night you thought would never come. The thing you put out of your mind and said, it won't happen to me. Your mind races. Your life flashes before you in a single instant, and you see all the people you love, all the people who desperately need you in their life. You start to panic. Your nostrils are flared, eyes wide open, ears ringing, and your heart is beating out of your chest. Your palms sweat. Your lungs are filled like 2 oxygen tanks ready to burst. Suddenly, you realize, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this isn't a game. It's real, and it's happening to you right now. And now your life and the ones you love depend on your ability to defend them, to stop this threat that has entered your home. Now, let me ask you a question. If you looked at yourself in the mirror tonight, can you honestly say that you're prepared for that event? That you're confident that if evil comes knocking on your door tonight, you'll instantly spring into action with a defense plan that you've rehearsed with your family, practiced, and trained for? Unfortunately, the answer for most of us is, if we're being truly honest with ourselves, is a resounding no. Hey, this is E.J. Owens, founder of LegallyConcealed.org. Listen, I don't like to talk about myself too much, but what I want you to know is why you can trust me to help you survive a brutal home invasion.
Hey, this is Chris H. I can't reveal my full name or show you my face because I'm still operational, but I'm a former U.S. Navy SEAL and a battle-proven Iraq vet who was on SEAL Team 3 with my late friend Chris Kyle, the deadliest sniper in U.S. history. And when my boy E.J. Owens asked me if I'd introduce him to you, I said, hell yeah, because let me tell you something, he's the real deal. E.J. proudly served his country for 14 years in the U.S. Army and National Guard as a soldier and commissioned officer. He's a U.S. hand-to-hand combative instructor.
Okay, that's enough. What I'm playing right now, by the way, is not a sponsor, but when I find good information, I think it's, I want to share it. By the way, I'm going to call this guy. I like it. I like him. His name is E.J. Owens. I purchased his system. It's like a video library online for a very good price. But you will find out. Google his name, as I said. He says also his website. What I like about that, he puts in all together a good package of very realistic information. How we can try to face and win situations like in home invasions. You know, not just because you have a handgun or a shotgun sitting somewhere around the house, and you maybe can hit the paper target 10 yards or so. You think now your home is safe, you're safe. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So I think, it's our duty as the gun owners to learn, to educate ourselves, to be better people, to be more responsible. That's the point. And, it's like a journey. You can start to learn how to walk. That's great. But then you can start to learn how to jog, and then you need to start to learn how to sprint. And, it depends how much time you want to put into it. I say, once you understand the responsibility that you have as a gun owner towards yourself, towards your family, towards our also society, because I tell you, if I see an innocent person out there being murdered, I'm not going to just run. I'm not going to just say, okay, see nothing here. No, it's your duty as a human being, as an American, to stop evil. And of course, in these days, it's a very challenging thing, with all this lawsuit and laws. But the idea is no innocent life should be killed. Never. Life is precious. We know that. So it's our duty. The moment that you have make the decision that you have a gun or a weapon, you want to be the best you can be. Not everybody can be, of course, joining the Army or Navy SEAL. So there are a lot of good stuff out there today. Not only, of course, I promote schools. I've been promoting on this show every school I can find out that is worth it. I don't take side with anybody. I go front side. I bring you gun side. I bring you local businesses. I bring you everybody. Everybody who's serious and offers you a good product, a good training for a good price. And then I let decide to you. That's all I do. But also, I think sometimes, beside the technical part of shooting, there is also much more, especially when you want to learn about how to defend your home. And I want to start to do really some series of shows here with guests that they know and they can tell us. Because I say, I'm here to learn with you, okay? I'm not a teacher, okay? But I'm a professional student, So I found this guy, A.J. Owens, former U.S. Army infantry officer, and he put together, I think, a good system, very professionally well done. And I'm going to try to contact him, and I hope to have him on my show, because I think he got good stuff. And the price is fair. $37, you get a lot of good information. I watched some of his videos, and they all make sense, telling you. I mean, I can spot a fraud. I can spot when somebody doesn't know what he's talking about. I think for the money, definitely would give you a lot of good information. Now, let's go through something that I think we should at least make you think, okay? This is, after all, just a radio show. I cannot give you the training on top. I'm not an instructor, but let me give you some ideas that I've been learning and thinking before even this system. But now, of course, thinking about the things that E.J. Owens wrote is a good point. For example, he has a point. A home defense incident is not the range. You know, if you go in a situation like at the range, you know that you're going to shoot without stress. You're going to shoot a paper target, doesn't shoot back at you, he doesn't move, he doesn't run, doesn't sweat. You don't sweat normally. It's going to be very almost peaceful, relaxing situation. Yeah, you get a little noise, little bang. That's it. Real life is different. First of all, you're not going to be at the range facing a clear target. You may have things between. Maybe probably dark. Probably it's going to be low light. Probably going to take off guard. You have no time to react very much. Think about it. Probably you're going to have multiple attackers inside your home. So are you able to shoot more than just a one target? Or let's say one opponent. 3, maybe 4. Able to reload fast, under stress. So that's the first thing you should think. Okay? Then I say already before, this is before even this gentleman, a system that I'm learning and studying, I really enjoy it. Many times, most of the people, when they go at home, they think they are safe, and if they are normally carrying a gun concealed in the society, you can see statistics, what they do, they normally put it in the safe or in some safe place, hopefully. That's very sad. That's very wrong. That's exactly where you don't want your gun. Somebody can knock the door, your front door or your back door in probably less than a second. Unless you have a special door, special windows. You know that those doors in the commercial regular homes, or apartments, they're like cardboards. I mean, you can break the hinges like nothing. So anyway, in less than 3 seconds, let's say 5 seconds, let's say this guy kicking the door is kind of a spineless guy. Guess what? You're not going to run fast enough to the safe in 5 seconds and get your gun. So as I said, the most important thing, in my opinion, to have for self-defense, to be prepared for a home invasion, is to have a gun, yes, at least one, but to have it on you. That's the number one thing. Whenever you have your shotgun or your handgun, it's way too far already. So that's important, okay? Now the people says, you're always paranoid, always thinking about this stuff. Mr. Owens has a good point. I'm just, some of the stuff I'm reading it because I like the way he put it together. Otherwise, I can tell you my way. But as you have a fire insurance, you're not a paranoid. If you have health insurance, you're not a paranoid because, accident can happen. Same story, to be prepared for the situation, for a home invasion. Now, sometimes we also have a problem to admit how evil the world can be, how evil can be real. We think, after all, it cannot happen to me. It just happens on TV. Unfortunately, it's happening. It's part of human nature. And I tell you, there are many accidents that all you have to do is read the news. But there is something that I like that is also reported here in his system of Mr. Owens. In 2007, you will remember, there was this little town, Connecticut, Cheshire, I guess. And there was this woman, 48-year-old woman, and a little daughter, 11-year-old daughter, a teenager. They were going shopping, out there. And guess what? They found 2 felons. They were just released on parole. They followed them. They followed these women home. They raped them, both of them, mother and daughter. Strangled the mother. I also read that they were doing terrible things like torture them and pee on them. It's so terrible. This is more than evil. And then they put them on fire. Think about it. This is evil. It's real. Planet Earth. It's only a question of statistics. I think there is an FBI statistic says 1 out of 100 people, I don't know, potentially could be a killer. Think about it. How many people did you see today? So that's my point. So we must admit that evil is real. That's the point. And at that point, we're going to get the motivation to at least prepare the best we can. As I said, I'm not saying everybody must become a soldier or become some sort of a warrior, but guess what? You must do your best to take care of your family, take care of yourself. That would be the first thing. Now, I think also I'm reading here some of his points, comply and die. It's true. The moment that you comply with these people, you're already dead most of the times. They shoot you just because you're a witness. They shoot you only just because they love it, just because they're evil. That's the fact. So, that's the bottom line. There is so much we can learn. And for me, the purpose of the show is to teach, or at least to share things that we can learn. And I'm not here as a teacher, but I want to bring you at least tools or opportunities. Like, for example, when I tell you, hey, get some ammo, I tell you where to get ammo. The prices, the best prices, even if they're not my sponsors. And right now I'm bringing you this guy, A.J. Owens, that I really think he got a good system down for an affordable price, $37. You get a lot of good information, seriously. At that point, it makes sense. At that point, you're going to have your guns and you have the training. You can combine this type of training with also some school training, like, marksmanship, manipulation, I invite you to get to an instructor or go to schools like Frontside or whatever you can find there for it. Now, that's pretty much for now. I will contact them this week, maybe in the next couple of weeks. I would love to have them on my show, seriously, because I support them also. I could get this stuff maybe as a sponsor or for free or whatever. I want to give them $37 because I really believe when people put work, this is our real capitalist work, free market. You work hard, and if your product is good and people want it, you deserve to be paid. That's the way it is. Now, I want to give you a little bit of a song, and then we go back. We got more news and more training ideas. So, please, this was just a basic understanding that probably 90% of us are not prepared for home invasion. Even if you have a gun, you need to have the training. And be sure the gun is on you. That's what I'm saying. And I want to start to explore ideas. So, you know what? When we come back, I'm going to give you some of my ideas as a regular guy. Okay? Let me just give you this little commercial and we go back. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Okay, we are back. By the way, before we go ahead, this is FreedomLovers.us, my project. It's free, seriously. You don't even get asked for the credit cards or things like that. And what I like about this, I start to see really growing a lot of new people, a lot of new, I don't want to call them members. They're not membership. Let's say faces and human beings, men and women, were joining. And some, of course, they just watch always for the Nigerian scams. They're there, they try to probably ask you for money or something. I'm not responsible for that. But also a lot of good real people, real faces, men and women. Many of them, I see them, they're into the Second Amendment big time. I'm very excited. Please go to freedomlovers.us, www.freedomlovers.us. And it's about freedom. It's about finding friends, like-minded people who respect each other, who believes in freedom. And of course, maybe you can find also love. But the idea also was just to find networking. There is also, of course, a section you can find out about message board. You can create messages, boards, and chat rooms. A lot of good stuff. You can upload your videos. It's very good. Please, guys, I just put that as my form of try to connect to each other. Try to have also a little fun, okay? freedomlovers.us. Now, back to us. We're talking about very serious matter. And by the way, I want to be sure people understand what people... The Second Amendment is not about home defense. It's not even about personal defense. It's about freedom, okay? So, yeah, it's a consequence. You have a gun, you have a weapon. Of course, you can and you should defend yourself and your family. And I say also your property. This is just me talking. Of course, life, you need to see which law, which state. You cannot just shoot at somebody because he's stealing an apple, okay? Be sure you understand that. But the point is, Second Amendment is about freedom, but also is about an opportunity, is a right. It's almost like an equalizer. Talking about social justice, I give you social justice. The social justice for me when a woman, like a 90-pound woman, or an older man, a senior man, maybe on his wheelchair, he can defend his or her life against a 300-pound thug. Yes, you see? We all become equal, excuse me. A little handgun can put a lot of equality between good and evil, for sure. So that's the point. I really believe that's what it's about also. So we're talking about home invasion, and I said I'm going to start to bring you some guests. Meanwhile, I want to share what I think I've been learning and tech training and practicing. First of all, I would always say, if you can, have a little fun with your family. Try to simulate home invasion scenarios, but with one premise. Do not have on you or around the house for that moment of training any real weapon. Okay? So, if you must be, first of all, do it with safety. But if you want to have, like for example, have a simulated gun like a plastic gun, great. If you want to use, for example, airsoft guns, even better. Have the right tools to protect yourself, like, glasses and everything else. Safety glasses. Anyway, so that would be a good way to start to really realize how things can get wrong. And start to think like the bad guys would think. Sit down, mom and dad, or boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife, I don't care, wherever you are, I wish you well. Sit down and start to think how things can get wrong. From which part? In the middle of the night? Or opening the door rings? Or just a broken glass? Situations. First of all, as I said, if you already don't have a gun on you, you're already losing the battle. I'm sorry. So the first real solution, I would say, that the simple solution to have a weapon on you, that probably would be the safest place, so nobody can touch the weapon but you. You don't forget what it is. Or if you really don't have any kids around, at least have several handguns, maybe in different parts of the house. Maybe one in the kitchen, one in the bathroom, one in the living room. But why make all this mess? Just bring one on you, on your pants. Simple as that. So that would be first, number one, very logic tip. Okay? Have always a weapon on you. Number two, it's called reaction time. Try to create some distance between you and the potential assailant. So I don't say to create a Fort Knox at your house. If you have the money, do as best that you can. But at least with a few dollars, you need to try to make the door, the entrance door or the windows, a little more difficult to penetrate. Because time is your friend. Distance is your friend. So you don't want to start to say, okay, I have a gun, but meanwhile my door is like a paper target. A paper door. No, make the door, entrance door and back door stronger. Work on the frame. Work on the engines. There are so many different little things now you can do without spending $1,000 for a door. Number one. Number two, if you get close to the door and somebody's ringing the door, be very careful. Don't open the door without a weapon on you. But before you open, be sure what you have there. Who is behind the door? And when you are behind the door, be sure that you cannot be shot through the door. There are different things you need to start to think. This is not about paranoid. Unfortunately, this is what realistic. So start to think that from the foundation, from the beginning, where the enemies, where the assaultant, the bad guy, just tired today, where it's coming from. So once you individualize the different weak points of your home, or the entrances point of your home, you start to reinforce them. Then you start to realize that, you can just say, okay, I went to the range, I shot 50 rounds, I got a gun sitting there somewhere, I'm ready. No, you got to really have real training, force on force, in a home environment. How can you do that? You need to start to get down to basics. For example, as I said, airsoft handgun. Try to buy an airsoft handgun that simulates exactly the same model of your gun that normally you shoot. There's so many solutions out there. You can find one. And with that gun, you can safely train with a partner around your home. You can start to create scenarios. Let's say you're sleeping. Boom, you hear a noise. Bang. What do? You go out, you open the door. Where are you going to? You have your kit ready to go. You have your flashlight, your cell phone, your gun, and your spare ammo there. Who's going to dial 911 while you're shooting? You or your wife? Seriously. You have a safe room, a place where you can be safe. Doesn't need to be metal steel, but at least something that cannot be easily broken in. Okay? Start to think that. Do you really need to go through room to room to do that type of searching? Maybe not. If there is nobody around the house but you and your wife, there is no need to go out there and expose yourself. Let the enemy, let the bad guy come to you. So different things. And that's the point. And then you should start to simulate also how to clear corners in case you have to. How to escape. If you have to, that's the good thing. Nothing wrong with that. So anyway, that's the idea. We got to really work on this, because I hate to see good people be harmed. I hate to see innocent people being killed. It's wrong. It's wrong. Breaks my heart. Every time, we are becoming so almost cynical now. We can read the news, open the TV and say, okay, now the person died, now the person got murdered, now the person got killed because of evil. Yeah, evil is out there, but it's our duty to stop evil. Okay? So we can do a lot. That's why I said, please, every man or woman in America should be armed, at least with a rifle. And of course the handgun too, but the rifle is the first weapon. If I had to go to a gunfight, I'm not going to bring the handgun. That's my backup weapon. First of all, I'm going to bring my rifle. Yes. Okay? And I don't want to go to any gunfight, but that is an allegoric way. If I had to go to war, what do you think? You're going to go to war with a handgun? If you have to defend your life, you better have a rifle. Of course, handgun can do a lot of good things, but it's not really exactly the first choice. It has some limitations in the ballistic. Okay? And also accuracy, and also reaching. So have a rifle. Look at freedomrifle.com, www.freedomrifle.com. I got the first 50 rifles ready to go. And as I said before, the first part of the hour, it's amazing. It's all made in the U.S. It's going to be just $499. The only thing is made in the U.S. is the rear sight that is removable. Okay, it's a handle rear sight A2 model. And that one is imported. Otherwise, I couldn't make it to be the rifle $499. But that's considered like a free gift, okay? Really, many rifles, they don't even sell with the rear sight. You need to put your optics or whatever. This one, it works. It's a good quality. But all the rest of the rifle is made in the U.S. The lower is made in Arizona. It's the Plum Crazy lower, Generation 2. And the upper is made in USA. First configuration we have is the M4. And this is chambered in 223 Wild. It's really, really good stuff. You can shoot both 5.56 and 223 Remington. And it's even more accurate than 5.56 in my opinion. So check it out, freedomrifle.com. That's my little gift for you. I want to give you a rifle to every law-abiding person in this country to defend your life, your liberty, okay? And defend innocence. That's the most important thing, too, for just $499. Now, we're almost at the end of this hour. And I want to say, I want your opinion. I want your feedback. I want to start to have now people also asking questions. And I am an humble person. I mean, I'm not here to tell you I'm the teacher, I know everything. But, I've been doing this for a while, and at least I was able to learn from many of my guests. I consider myself like a decent listener, even I talk a lot. But I like to learn from others. So if you have any specific question about guns, what type of guns would you like, or testing a gun, or training ideas, anything about Second Amendment, send me an email. You go to lovegunsfreedom.com. There is the email there, zanna@zanna.us. And any email, any question regarding this topic, I'll be happy to even bring you on the show. I mean, we recorded before. Of course, this show is not live. I don't like to go to the station, but we can record it. And otherwise, I can just read your questions on the air and then give you the answers, okay? That's pretty much the story. Now, by the way, I want to say thank to Pat from Golden Valley. That is the first buyer of the Don't Tread on Us Freedom Rifle. And we had a great meeting. You can watch the video if you go to freedomrifle.com. You can see the delivery moment and also my little, explanation why there is a letter with some sort of a personalization I give to every buyer of the Freedom Rifle. It's like almost my blessing. Why I think every human being should have a rifle. And what is the purpose of the rifle? And maybe I read it to you. Who knows? Next time. Okay? I think something you should know. Maybe I can read it even right now. I think it's something important. Because I think you understand that people may say, you talk about rifles, you talk about, something that is used to kill. No. I talk about a tool that is used to save a life. That's the point. That's a point. I don't have any rifle with the intent to kill. I want to save a rifle. Save a life. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Think about it. If you see an innocent person being murdered or being, completely in danger to have serious permanent damages or being raped, I mean, you got to do what you can. You follow your heart, okay? I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you, you better start to think now what you have to do. So anyway, I will put it on next show at this point. I think it's important. We should, I want you to know what is my mindset, what is about to have a weapon, and why I think you should have a Don't Tread on Us rifle. All right. Ready to go? We're going to have one more moment. Please, there is on zannaart.com, www.zannaart.com. There is a section now, is a shopping cart. It's very nice. And I appreciate your help. I appreciate all your support. There are beautiful copies in parchment of the United States Constitution, authentic replicas that look like the real deal, the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights. Beautiful. You can put them on the wall, frame them. They look like the real stuff for just $12 and change, free shipping. And also, there are the new T-shirts. Slaves are never armed. I'm not a slave. Freedom Rifle. I mean, you can get it for $14.99 free shipping all over the U.S. So I appreciate it. This is the way we can support this show and keep this show free from, corporate sponsors. And don't get me wrong. If I get sponsors, I'm happy. But I'm not going to ever compromise with the sponsor, between the sponsor and the truth, between the sponsors and the facts. That's the point. Okay? So that's the bottom line. Ready for our number 3. We're going to have an incredible guest from Idaho. More disturbing news. What's happening around the country right now to regular people just because they are taking photos, or they were taking photos at the event during the Bundys. Women being targeted by the federal government, harassed, and almost arrested. Okay? Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna.
Get us out of the United Nations. Get us out, we are a free nation. Get us out of the United Nations. Get us out, get us out. Food for oil and Iraq. Kofi Annan just stabbed our back. France, Russia, Germany, another UN treachery. They're trying to ban our gun.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go, guys. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States .fm network. Final hour. This is the hour about love. And, you know, I talk in this hour about many things. But at the end of the day, whatever we're doing, you know, whatever we're trying to do, when it comes down to freedom, when it comes down to guns, when it comes down to life, what is really the most powerful weapon that we have? I really believe it's love. It's love for each other. Loving our next neighbor, even if we don't know him. Some of these guys that I have on my show, the people that I had on my show the last couple of years since I started all this, I never met them. And you know what? I feel like we're brothers and sisters. That's the bottom line. And I know we may have a different accent, but that's not the point. But this is a very serious matter. Things are happening right now in this country, like around the world. But, you know, we need to focus right now in our backyard. And I tell you what's happening, it is not an accident. This is not just part of just some, little situation, maybe some corruption here, some corruption there. This is a very systematic plan to enslave humanity. How do they do that? They need to start to remove first the people that they have proven to have the courage to stand up against evil. This is a fact. Look what's happening with the veterans. They're disarming them. They're put in a situation completely in disgrace, living like animals. And if they claim that they have some problems, boom, their gun rights are gone. Of course, we can give billions to Iran, but we cannot give basic assistance to our veterans. And more important, they label them like domestic terrorists. Now, what's happening in America, we're already living under a sort of a soft martial law that is not anymore soft. Because people will start to get disappearing. And remember, we are under National Defense Authorization Act 2012 with the clause of indefinite detention. They don't even anymore need, the government doesn't need anymore the excuse to put you in the dungeon. There is no more due process, no more habeas corpus. That's why we need to have now more love than ever. This is my point. We need to show that we're not going to be afraid against these evil bastards. That's the bottom line. Now, I already had on my show a couple of weeks ago or so the wife of a gentleman that I met, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm proud of it. I met when I was doing my job, my duty as a reporter, to witness and report what's happening at the Bundy's Ranch, 2014, in April. His name was, he still is, because he's still alive, Eric J. Parker, and I met his wife, of course, over the phone, and we share all the drama that he's going through. Now, things don't just go better, they're going worse. Now it seems like, and I say seems like because I need to verify, and I have the person right now that is going to help me out with this information, that the federal government doesn't stop just to harass and try to threaten with the arrest, and also arrest them too, people that they were, let's say, part of this peaceful, because nobody got hurt,
It's peaceful for me. Act of civil rights disobedience. That's the way I look at this. Now, they're also going after now witnesses, tourists, people who had cameras and they were taking photos. This is insane. I tell you, if I didn't know that this is real, I thought it was a bad movie. But let me bring the guy, the person, who talked with these ladies, and he can tell us more. This is something that I really pray you pay attention, because this is not happening to you right now, I understand. But next time could be your son or your daughter. We are living under fascism. This is Brandon Curtis from Idaho. Brandon, are you there?
Hey, Luca, how are you? I'm here.
I'm okay, thank you. Please briefly introduce yourself, who you are, and I know you represent. I don't know if you represent, but you speak for an organization that I am proud of to witness. I'm not part of it, but I completely share your values. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Brandon Curtis, and I am the president of the 3% of Idaho.
Okay,
and also a very good friend and brother to Eric Parker.
Very good. And just for people, most of my people that listen to the show, they understand what means 3%. But just because I always I hope to get new people into this journey to learn what's going on. Give the short story. What means the 3%? What exactly is this organization? Some sort of domestic terrorist, right-wing, extreme, violent, raping children organization, or something else? And I've been sarcastic. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, of course, and it's complete opposite, actually. What we do is we stand for constitutional rights, and we believe in returning our country back to a constitutional republic and holding our government officials accountable for their actions. And we don't always agree with how the government's being run. First and foremost, we're not anti-government. We're not anarchists. We truly love the government the way that it was meant to be put in place in this country. The Constitution says that, and that's what we support. We also do a lot of different things in our community here throughout the state in Idaho. We do a lot of we do roadside cleanup. We help veterans. We help homeless. We help children and abused children and battered women. We've helped them. So there's a lot of things that we do to dive into the community to also help here in our state as well. So it's not just about taking a stand somewhere or a rally or a protest. It's everything all together.
Okay, so just for the record, you do not have kids for breakfast, and you are not sex offenders, and you are regular people. Honestly, you just performing your duty as a citizen. That's the way I look at this. Now,
correct.
And just because I like to remember also this is important. People may ask, what means 3%? Give the short story, please. You got a better accent than mine.
Sure.
Go ahead.
The history of the 3%, that comes back, from the Revolutionary War days when Britain was going to, come over and take over the colonies. And what it said, it's a historical term, the 3%. That 3% of the armed citizens took up arms and took a stand against the tyranny to claim their sovereignty. So that was the citizens. And so that's the short version of where the 3% is coined from.
Exactly. Now, back to us. I already talked about Eric Parker. Of course, that is going to be enough. I would like to people just to Google Eric J. Parker and see exactly now an American man, a family man that has no previous record about anything. I don't even know if I have speeding ticket, this man. All I know that now he's facing 107 years in prison, federal prison, for a conspiracy. Nobody got hurt, nobody got killed, okay, and nobody got even hit. But anyway, the point is now, I'm sorry, I need to focus on the new event, of course, but I would like everybody, every time I mention this topic about what's going on or what happened with the Bundys 2014, please, it is not just Eric J. Parker. There were also other people. There are other people that now they are rotting in federal prison. At least they are waiting to go to federal prison facing crazy charges. Now, tell me a little bit about exactly these new rumors that I heard on the internet, because I like to verify. I'm always trying to be cautious before I put anything on the air. And I like the fact that you are there as an eyewitness and you talk to this person. So I consider it very attainable information. Please go ahead. Tell us the story about these two ladies from the East Coast. What happened? Who are they?
So there was two ladies that are from the east side of the United States. They took a flight over to Las Vegas when the situation was unfolding at the Bundy Ranch. The reason why is they had seen on the internet or Facebook or whatever it was that the government had put up First Amendment zones and were, violating constitutional rights. So they wanted to go over and document that. They flew over to Vegas, where they rented a car and drove to Bunkerville.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they took with them was clothes and a camera. They were not armed. They weren't involved in the standoff. They weren't involved in down at the wash or the cattle work. All they did was take photos and document. Day before yesterday, the FBI contacted the sheriff of the county over there and let him know they wanted to question these two gals. And so they ended up questioning them at their attorney's office. They set that up. And they were questioning them in regards to these photos.
Wow.
The attorney, the attorney gave his advice or whatever. I can't speak to that because I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Just what she relayed to me personally. And they kept threatening to charge them during this visit. And they were asked what would be charged with.
Yeah.
And they were responding with saying, well, intent. Would be intent.
Or what?
And
intent of taking a photo?
What?
Intent of traveling to Nevada and see what's going on, intent to be curious, intent to be a photographer, or maybe just to report news. I mean, this is insane. Did you talk to any of them in person over the phone? Just to double check.
Oh, yes. Yes. This was a personal conversation with the gal.
Wow.
That we're talking about. So she's also a friend. So it wasn't just a random conversation. It's somebody that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was actually the U.S. Marshal's office, and they left, and they told her that she wasn't to leave town, and they may be back. And they had mentioned they had a list of a bunch of names, and if everything fell into place, they would be making an arrest.
Wow.
The next morning, her attorney got a phone call from the U.S. Marshal's office, and he was advised that they needed to be at his office so they could come and pick them up. So they thought they were being arrested, went down there, waited for the U.S. Marshal's office to show up, and they did, where they handcuffed, they picked them up at different locations. So the one that was picked up at the attorney's office, she was handcuffed, put into a car, taken away. They went to the federal courthouse in that area where they were questioned all day. During the questioning, they were advised, the U.S. Marshal's office was advised by both of them that they wanted their attorney. And they continued to question them. And finally, later in the afternoon, they contacted the attorney and asked him to come down.
My God. This is insane. I mean, this is complete harassment. I mean, first of all, think about how much disruption in somebody's life. That yes, you had a job maybe or something to do and take care of family. Then you have to also aggravate yourself to get an attorney for something that you have done nothing just because you were taking photos. No weapons, nothing. Not even being part of it, just as a witnesses. Now you probably have a bill of $1,000 just to have a day attorney with you on your back. I mean, and now what's going on? What do you think is happening? Do they have any, blessing from the feds, or they say still stick around? What's going on?
Well, they were, continuing down the line of questioning for the photos, and they kept saying that they wanted the photos, and the response that she was giving them was, then just arrest me or get a warrant. And they finally kicked her loose later last night and allowed her to leave. They were told they could not talk to each other. They were even told who they can or cannot talk to, and they weren't even charged.
Oh my God!
And when they took her into custody, they went to her vehicle and took her laptop without a warrant.
Are you kidding me? So they have now, their laptop is confiscated?
I am not clear if they give it back or if they kept it, but they did, in fact, once they took her into custody and put her in the vehicle, they went to her car and took her laptop.
So they
now,
probably...
keep in mind, no search warrant and no arrest warrant.
Exactly. I mean, this is so wrong. But, people now at this point, may say, oh, how can they do that? Maybe we miss, and I'm not saying me and you, but I say... people that they're still in shock. Maybe they forgot when we were trying to scream about the Patriot Act with Bush and about the National Defense Authorization Act 2012 with Obama and many other little pieces of unconstitutional legislations. Now the federal government and so also the state government and the local government have laws that not even Hitler had. Seriously. This is the reality. Now that's the new America we are living with a K, and this is why they can do whatever they want. That's why they can get you and detain you indefinitely. I mean, these ladies are lucky that all happened was they spent a day in the room. Look what they're doing. So I tell you, I'm sorry. I think we passed that stage.
And I don't have all answers. But all I can say, we got to, first of all, before we can fix a problem, we must admit that we have a problem. If people still tell me, oh, this is a free country, you must be insane. You must be on drugs. Seriously.
Oh, this is no longer a free country, and we saw that happen yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, there was, you know, and I can't really go into details. She has to give me permission to do that.
Yeah.
But the way, I will say this, I can say this.
Yeah.
The way the U.S. Marshal's Office conducted themselves in the parking lot of that attorney's office with children present.
Yeah.
Was it was disgusting, and it was caught on video at the attorney's office, the parking lot, and it may be released, but it was absolutely horrifying to those children.
This is insane. On top, you know, they know they are women. They are people that probably very much, you know, the less threatening person that you could have a contact as a professional that you're supposed to be, type of, you know, law enforcement. You know, this is not like you're dealing with some sort of, you know, Al Capone or other people like that, okay? You know, you're women. Unarmed, with a photo camera, moms, you know?
Yeah, she's in her, you know, late 40s, early 50s. She's a mom. She is a foster home to abused children.
Gee.
She, you know, she's well known in her community, very well known and respected in her community, and still look how she's treated.
Yeah, and I really believe it must be a new type. I hope they're listening because I feel sorry for you guys, seriously. If this is not what you become, what you are, you know, just because you want to justify because you have to pay your bills or pay a mortgage, take care of your family, there is no excuse. You can go to find a job, you know, selling peanuts on the corner. It would be better. I know pay less than the federal government, but I feel sorry for you. I mean, one day you're going to be gone too. I don't know what you believe, but you're going to be somehow being asked, what have you done? Why did you do what you did? Why you acted like that? I think they must get, and you know, this is me talking, I don't want to put you in trouble, you already got your dose of troubles. I mean, you must be some strange breed. Now, I think the new type of recruiting that they want in the federal government, I mean, if you are an honest person, if you are a person that has some ethics and believe in good and doesn't want to be a bully, they probably don't get you, they don't hire you. They want psychopaths. That's what they are. If you treat a woman like that for no reason, with no previous record, and I don't care if you're following the orders, you better remember that your first order that you have, it's an oath to the United States Constitution and Bill of Rights. And the oath has no expiration. So you guys, if you just say, oh, I'm sorry, but, you know, they don't even say I'm sorry probably, but they say, my superior told me to do that. Guess what? You don't have to answer. You don't have to do that. Seriously, tomorrow could be your sons. One day you're going to get retired. You're going to get off of that position of power. You're going to go back among us, the serfs. That's pretty much the way I look at us. And your son and daughter is going to face the same tyranny that you pretty much perpetrated. So please, wake up. This is why, you know, this is the hour about love. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, we are human beings. We are Americans. We shouldn't treat each other like that. We shouldn't treat anybody else like that. I don't care if you're from Mars. But for sure, this is insane. I'm sure the prisoners in some other countries, like, you know, when we go overseas and we arrest, I don't know who we arrest, you know, in Iraq, some funny sheriffs with the turban that they want to make them called terrorists, or maybe even real terrorists. They don't treat them like that. I'm sure they give him a lawyer. I mean, look what they're doing now. We give lawyers to everybody around the world, but not for us. You know, we get treated like slaves. So I'm very sad. I hope there is some humanity left in you guys. And I know you listen. I know I'm a little guy, but I don't care. By the way, I took photos too. Should I be worried now? Curtis, what do you think?
Well, you have to, you know, we have a question that we ask and a phrase that we say about exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And what we need to ask those guys is, where do you draw the line between doing what's right and earning your paycheck?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we took photos. I'm a photographer. I am a member of, I don't need to be member of the media. I'm a human being. I have a First Amendment, for God's sake. I can go there. I don't need to ask permit to anybody. I can bring a video camera, take a photo, take a video, do a recording, and say whatever I damn please, okay? I don't need to be Fox News to be the official media. So I was there, and I'm proud of it. And I did the report. And, you know, I'm not a big guy. I'm not like some sort of a Rambo. I am a very regular guy. But, you know, I cannot be afraid. I can't. Because the moment I'm afraid, you know, I better go back and go back to Italy. I mean, I didn't come all the way to America to be a servant and lick your boots. That's the bottom line.
I'm disgusted today. You know, I'm proud of this country, but I'm disgusted with this government. I'm disgusted of all these enforcers, and I hope that the American people will understand that we cannot just do it, few of us, all this. We need to have all of us. We need to get the people. We need to understand what's going on. You know, it's time to stop to just think about me. You know, okay, am I beautiful? Am I cute? I'm doing my little selfie, or I don't know. I'm going to this football. I mean, yeah, you can want to go to watch football, whatever. But we have right now in a state of emergency, for God's sake. I would get a TV and throw it in the river if I were you and buy something else. And I want to say it. I don't even want to go in conspiracy. It is true. Throw the TV in the garbage and buy two things you need to buy. A copy of the U.S. Constitution in case you miss it and read it. Because I think probably many of us, we just have it somewhere. But we must read it and understand it. That's not just an historical document that goes in the museum. That's part of our daily life. It's supposed to be the way the government is under check. And then second thing, and I'm proud of it, I don't care if they think it's a conspiracy, buy a freaking rifle, okay? It's our right. It's the American right. It's called the Second Amendment right, the right to keep and bear arms. Of course, if you live in a state like California, New York, you screw with that, I'm sorry. But the bottom line is, you know, you have the right. Don't be apologetic. Don't be afraid of it. The moment we're afraid of our rights, they already won. The moment that I'm silent because I'm afraid, we lost. I lost as a human being. I'm a slave. I can't even watch myself in the mirror tonight. I need to spit on the mirror, and I don't like to clean mirrors at night. So we have no choice. First of all, I say, please, if everybody's listening, don't be afraid. You know, yeah, they can put us in jail. Yeah, they can shot us. They can kill us, whatever. But they cannot kill us all. And they know it. This is like a couple of, skinny coyotes out there at night, and there are, a bunch of sheep. They consider us a sheep anyway. And guess what? Two coyotes, they can put fear into the sheep, but the sheep, the moment that they understand that we have so much power, all we have to do is grow some freaking horns, and we become rams. And I'm not going to tell you that we have to go there and nail their asses, but I tell you, if they come to us and they start to treat us like, sheep, guess what? We are not sheep. You put a cat in the corner, you're going to find the lion. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
That's all
Absolutely.
I say. You push it, you're going to find the lion. All I'm saying, I pray for peace. I really do. But I don't know how long this country is going to stay in peace when they start to do this to regular people every other day. I don't know. I talk too much, Curtis. I give you the floor. Say whatever you want to say. I'm sorry, I need to chill out.
It's okay. You're fine. It's terrifying, and that's what they're working on, fear tactics, and they're trying to control the narrative and control with power and fear. And, there's a lot of people scared to stand up. Our organization's getting hammered right now, and a lot of organizations across the country are. They're coming at us and coming at people in different ways to hurt them. If financially, if they need to, or legally to get attorneys because they know they can drain your bank account using attorneys because they use our tax dollars to do all these things that are unconstitutional. They have endless pockets to attempt to enforce and charge people with unconstitutional charges and laws that we're paying for.
Yeah. I mean, all they have to do is...
The system is backwards. The system's broken.
Exactly. It's supposed to be the opposite, They can just throw you in jail and, you have to prove that you're innocent. They need to prove that you are guilty. Now, pretty much it's the opposite. Now, they can just put a bunch of charges out there and maybe, something's going to stick. But more important, nothing has to stick. All they have to put your fear into you, and then you're going to plead guilty. So they're going to say, you're going to be probably going for 100 years. And why don't you play for 5 years and have a nice felony on your record? That's a victory for them. They destroy a life. They destroy a few families. They got your Second Amendment rights. They got your First Amendment right. You cannot even vote anymore, and you're not a slave in the system. So all I'm saying, this is a serious matter. This is really living in very serious times, and every one of us has to do their part. As I said, I have a little microphone. All I can do is put it out. You guys, you're doing your duty there in Idaho. I hope the people out there, they need to understand. They cannot be afraid. They need to start to speak up. Everything you can do, it's up to you. Listen to your heart. Think. Sometimes, even just getting a phone and start to call your useless congressman. Say, you moron, what are you doing? We are living under Nazi Germany. Can you start to speak up and grow some balls out there in Washington for us? That would be a good start. Write a letter to the editor. When everybody start to write a letter to the editor, so they understand that we are not afraid. They say, oh my gosh,
this doesn't work anymore. And then start to watch each other's back. I'm telling you. We are coming, there's a book, I don't know if you ever read it. It's from a Russian author. I always pronounce it so bad. Mr. Solzhenitsyn. Anyway, Archipelago Gulag. Did you ever read a book?
Which book is it?
Archipelago Gulag.
No, I have not.
Okay, Google it. It's a book that I invite everybody to read. He's a Russian dissident. He spent times in these gulags, exactly, these concentration camps from political dissidents. But what he does, he explains and narrates in a very, very realistic way, because he lived all this stuff. All the moments, how this creep in, how it happened, how started it. And the realization that the Russian people couldn't stop it. Because there were millions. And these little people, because I call them little people on the power trip, with some power and a gun, because remember in Russia, after the Communist Party took over, only the Communist Party members could have guns. Every other gun was confiscated, of course. Anyway, they were there, going to people's home in the night, and they started to kidnap them. And people started to disappear. Like happened in many other places, like happened in Italy during Mussolini, like happened in Germany during Hitler, like happened, of course, in Armenia, like happened in Chile during Pinochet. So nothing new. Americans must understand that whatever happened around the world, now it's happening to us. That's why I say we cannot let this happen. I give you the floor the last 2 minutes, whatever you want to say.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We have to take a stand, and the infighting among the patriot groups and organizations and movement needs to stop, because when that happens, we're all going to fall, and that's exactly what they want. And they have people that are infiltrated into organizations that are trying to take a stand and be heard and be a voice to just do that. And, using provocateurs, we have to pay attention. We all have to stand up, come together and unite, and be one large voice and say, no more, no thank you. We don't have to take it anymore.
Speaking about agent provocateur, this is nothing new. It's part of their book. I mean, Contointel Pro, there was also, I think, a Senate panel debating about that in the 70s to expose these tactics of the FBI and the federal government to infiltrate civil rights group and, of course, in their name, doing bad things or try to set up people with different allegations or even just discredit them, anything. So we know the story. I hope so. Everybody knows. Now, in your inner circle of people that you met in the last experience going to Oregon or to, I don't know, wherever you went, did you meet anybody in person that you can say, I have evidence that you are working to set us up, you are working to create a crisis, let's say a false flag, or you are working as an infiltrator? Did you know any of them?
Yes, we have. One actually just came out here a few weeks ago, who was in Burns, Oregon, and also at the Sugar Pine Mine situation in Southern Oregon in Josephine County last year.
Wow.
So we have absolutely met them, and as we get information, we look at that, and we won't put somebody out there unless there's evidence. And actually somebody else put this person out, but we do know them, and it's been verified that they are absolutely a federal informant for the Joint Terrorism Task Force.
Wow. And do you have evidence of them? I mean, did you call them in public? Is already being released publicly, this name?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I can send you those links if you want to get those out there.
I would like to start to say, I mean, this is a show that it's public. And, by the way, every time I bring a name out, I always said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And, of course, I'm not here a judge, but I would like to give the microphone exactly the same time I gave to you to any individuals that we bring in. So give me some names. Let's start with one.
Sure. This gentleman here is Kevin Truce.
Kevin Truce. Let me see. Maybe he's my friend on Facebook. Let me check. How do you spell? K-E-V-I-N. Last name?
E-R-U-E-S-S.
E-R-U-S-S. Okay. Rus? R-U-S-S?
R-U-E-S-S-E.
Okay.
On the end.
Okay. Tell me that on Facebook. I'm going to check him out. So, and this guy is from your area?
He's actually from Oregon. He's from Oregon. We had suspicions about him, and several people had suspicions about him, and they were doing some digging and checking. Then he actually came out. He got upset for some reason with whoever he was to report to, and he came out and went public with it and said, he was being paid to do what he did.
Wow, so it's even better. This is not even about any type of, allege or whatever. He admitted it, okay?
Oh, absolutely. He went on Revolution Radio and admitted it. And then he was on the All Rights Matter show, and then he was trying to backpedal and cover some of that up. And it was just really interesting to see all that unfold. But, that has all been verified and documented that he absolutely was an informant.
You met him in person, I'm sure. You talked to him a few times. Did you talk to him after his admission?
Well, he was over in Burns, but he never showed his face. And what he would do is he would send messages on Facebook to certain people, trying to get them stirred up. He would threaten them and then be friends, and then try to create some more chaos. And it was just really obvious what he was doing. And I told him when I was talking to him, and on a message, I said, I believe you're probably working for the feds because just the way you're acting. And then, ironically, a month later, he comes out with it.
Okay. This is exactly why it's so important to understand everything we do, everything we say. First of all, they don't even need any more an excuse. You can be just minding your business, and just because we are suspected to be a terrorist, according to the National Defense Authorization Act, they don't need an excuse. But, for sure, if you start to say things, even sometimes taken out of context, okay, I don't know, I saw the plane, I'd like to shoot it down, stupid idiot. You don't mean it, of course, you can even do that, but the point is, right there, you must watch what you say, like everything you speak on Facebook or anywhere. That's the way I am. Everything I'm saying now, I could say in front of a judge and a jury of my peers. Probably wouldn't do any more any time right now. Probably wouldn't be enough because, as I said, I maybe even never meet the judge and the jury. They may just throw me directly to Guantanamo, seriously. That's the way they can do it according to the National Defense Authorization Act. But for sure, watch for these idiots on Facebook when they try to provoke you, when they try to tell you things, because unfortunately they are not just idiots. They may be part of the bigger plan. That's pretty much the story. Anyway, now this guy this Kevin guy, what does he do? I mean, do you know exactly? He's back to his regular life. He already spent his money, or he's still in active duty, backstabbing Americans?
Well, I'm not quite sure what he really does. I think he's unemployed.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he has no military background. I do know he's got family members out of New York that are in the FBI.
Okay.
So, he's got ties into that way, but as far as I know, he's unemployed, no military background or law enforcement.
Well, it's okay. It's, everybody find their path. I think, people can find their job, and I think that's what they like. There's 30 silver coins. Somebody else enjoy those silver coins, but not for long. Anyway, listen, I want to thank you again. I say, please, Brandon, stay in touch, and let's pray for a moment of a miracle. I really believe in miracles now, and the first miracle I think we need for the American people to finally wake up, stop being zombies, and start to understand what's going on, because only when we understand the gravity of the situation and we take knowledge of that, awareness, then we can start fix it. That's the first stage. We must admit it. We are in trouble. Okay, Brandon?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Please keep me posted if there is any type of any other update, okay?
Will do. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. Okay, guys, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. And please, this is not NPR. We do not steal your money with tax dollar. This is not even about money, because I tell you, what I'm doing here is priceless. And I'm not talking about my great accent or my grammar that sucks. I'm talking about I'm trying to do my best, regardless the danger. I may be a small dog. Doesn't matter. They get now everybody. Just because we speak about these things. It's dangerous business. And I tell you, it would be not enough money to pay me to do what I'm doing. It's just I do it because I think it's the right thing to do. I'll ask you for help. If you mind, if you're listening. If you don't care about this show, I don't care. Just go. But if you listen to the show, you understand that, it takes time. It takes effort. Normally, everybody has to pay their bills. I'm not asking to send me a check, make me, buy me a car. Tell you something, guys. I write music for a living. That's what I do. At least one of the things I do. All you need to have 99 cents. If I'm not worth 99 cents, you know what? I feel sorry for you. Seriously, if you listen to the show. Anyway, go to my website, zanna, ZANNA.us. You can find any of my music, any of my songs, and that you can download them for 99 cents. Then, if you want to spend a little more, I appreciate it. I got incredible organic coffee, and that's another way I promote and also I support this show to keep it free from corporate controls so I can say exactly what I want to say without being silenced. So you can go to zannacoffee.com, ZANNA coffee.com, okay? And every bag of coffee you buy, you support this broadcast. Thank you very much. Don't go away. We got more news and more exciting things. You know, this is really exciting times. I've been sarcastic. I'm freaking out. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away. Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee. Okay, we are back. This is the final hour. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is the hour about love. Normally, I like to chill out a little bit. I also, we used to talk about recipes, wine, and we will. I'm not going to become miserable because there are these evil people around us try to make us miserable. As I said many times, the best revenge against our enemies is to live well. But yes, we must acknowledge the truth. And as I said, we must fight. We must do everything we can. We must follow our heart, follow our soul. At the end of the day, though, we must also rest, enjoy life. Otherwise, what's the purpose? That's why I created this hour. But I could not let that information go. The first part of this hour, I think it is important. To know now, everybody must understand, we are living already in tyranny. When you have women, like these two ladies, mothers, were journalists, or even they are not journalists, they went there to the event at the Bundys just because they want to take photos. And more than almost 2 years later, they've been harassed and threatened with arrest by the federal government, and they want to confiscate their property without any type of lawful warrant, just because they think they can do so. We cannot just ignore this. We cannot just say, okay, we're living in a free country. This is not a free country anymore. And not just because it's not happening to you, it is not happening. Because it's only a question of time before you or your son or your daughter or your wife or any of your friends, or maybe yourself, you're going to face this type of tyranny. So this is the hour about love, and I think the first form of love we must exercise is our brotherly love. We cannot be afraid. We cannot just let our neighbors, our friends, perish, being harassed, being arrested, being kidnapped, because that's where we are right now. There is no more arrest. With the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012, you can be lawfully, and I've been sarcastic here, for me this is an unconstitutional act, but still, in their mind it's lawfully kidnapped and indefinitely detained. So, the moment that we stop talking about this and we are afraid, we lost. We lost everything. We lost America, we lost our freedom, of course, and we lost also our humanity. So, that's enough for today. Now, we want to go back a little bit on my old style, final hour of the show. It's about love. It's about joy of life. First of all, I just finished a few minutes ago to have my new blend, my new coffee blend called 1776. I'm so proud, seriously. Sometimes I think I don't sleep at night, and I don't. I really sleep not much. To come out with this, it is not just the gimmick name, because I tell you, I really like 1776. the coffee to brew a revolution. It's almost genius, and not because I did it, but I think it really is. But the coffee is really good. And it's not just me saying that. I'm so happy and so thankful to all the listeners and friends who are testing it, who are buying it, supporting the show, and of course also give me their feedback. And last month I came out with the first blend, was a straight shot espresso. And by the way, you can also use it not just for espresso. As I said many times, I want to give you the freedom when you buy the Zanna coffee to grind it accordingly to your taste. I hate when, you've been told what to do. Or let's say the company give you this is the blend, this is the grind. No, I want to give you freedom in everything. And also when you have to grind your coffee, you should be in control. That's the way I look at this. So when you buy the Zanna coffee, doesn't matter if you buy the straight shot espresso. As I said, it's not just for espresso. You can also make great American coffee. Or when you buy the 1776 blend, you can grind it in the way you like it. Now, why I chose all bean coffee beans? Because I really believe for two reasons. First of all, flavor. I like to give you the best flavor. The coffee is freshly roasted, and there is a very fast turnaround. So I don't have like 3,000 pounds sitting in the warehouse and let it rot. No, I just try to get through everything. I think I can go fast and reorder it. So you always keep it fresh. So when you have also the all beans, the flavor is going to be longer. You're going to enjoy more. And also, as I said, for the reason of freedom, you should be able to grind it accordingly how you like it. All right, now, since we're talking about coffee, and I want to remind you that if you want to support the show, that's a way you can do it. And the beautiful thing, I'm not asking you for charity or donations or things like that. No, I give you an opportunity to have an incredible, organic, GMO-free, fair trade coffee. That means we do not use slaves, as I say in the ad, for a great price, probably saving from your local store, for sure saving hundreds of dollars when you go buy every time you stop at that, big name. I don't want to say the name. I don't care. You go to Starbucks. Yeah, I said the name. What do you think? You pay $5 for that frappuccino that is a bunch of fat with water, probably from some municipality, full of chlorine, and you got coffee that probably, for sure, is not organic. I never heard really lately selling organic coffee at Starbucks. So only God knows what you drink and how much you're paying for a couple of this coffee at this Starbucks or whatever it is. And by the way, if you like guns, that place sucks. If you believe in the principles of, basic, I'm not even trying to preach morals here because, I'm pretty much a regular guy and, I'm a sinner. But I'll tell you something, guys. Starbucks policy sucks. If you believe in basic, a man is a man, a woman is a woman, and, these people, they are really out of control. And I have nothing against gays, seriously. But don't start to tell me that, my daughter or, my son, you must be having crossing each other bathrooms, okay? I have a serious problem there. Anyway, but the bottom line is this, you do what you want. I don't care. But I give you an opportunity. This is free market. This is not the government forcing you to do things against your will. It's about free market. I want to offer you a great product for a great price. Zanna Coffee, organic, GMO-free. You can go to zannacoffee.com. Now, how to make coffee. There are many ways to make coffee. But let's put the first secret, how to make a good coffee. You can have the most expensive, the most delicious, the most gourmet blend you want. That's a good start. Yes, start with Zanna Coffee. But if you do not have the right water, you're wasting time and you're wasting money. Seriously. So if I can say my first little tip, how to make a great coffee, you must find the source of good water. And I'm telling you guys, I don't care in which city do you live, which municipality, especially in the U.S., but also now in Italy, I'm telling you, every water now in our municipalities is being standardized by the federal government, and they have the mandate to put chlorine and other type of chemicals to keep it safe. Of course, they want you safe by germs, and then they give you more freaking chemicals than Chernobyl, okay? So my point is, if you drink water out of the tap and you use the water full of chlorine, and God's only know if there is also fluoride, go figure it out, you should, you're not going to have a good coffee. Your coffee taste is going to suck. Seriously. So let me give you my little tip. Try to find a filtration system that can remove chlorine, and of course fluoride, and keep the minerals. And I'm not pitching anything because I don't sell anything. If I was selling it, I would pitch it for sure. But I tell you, out of my heart, because I love you, there is a system that really works for me. It's the ProPure system. ProPure filter, it's good. It's made of stainless steel, and they have filters now that they're gravity filters, so you don't need any type of electricity. Just pour the water on the top bucket and goes down. In a couple hours, you got plenty of water, even less. And they keep all the minerals. The flavor, it's amazing. And it really tastes like water from the fountain. Well, the fountain used to be, at least in Italy. And removes all these different chemicals. And you can see the lab. And I said, this is not a sponsor, but I would love to have them as a sponsor. But regardless, I'm not going to deprive you of good information just because they are not my sponsors. You come first. That's the bottom line. The truth comes first. So, please, figure it out. But seriously, if you want to make a good coffee, and I want you to appreciate life from small little things. That's why I say, you don't need to be rich. You don't need to have a Ferrari. You don't need to have 3 homes. You don't need to have, I don't know, whatever you think, a jet, like Donald Trump. You can make your life happy from small little things. A little meal, a little glass of wine, a good little coffee. You're healthy. You got a pair of brand new shoes. Guess what? You're a lucky guy or you're a lucky woman. That's what it is. And of course, if you have somebody who loves you, I think you really hit the lottery. So that's all I'm saying. Enjoy life. Let's enjoy life. Let's have a little coffee, Zanna coffee. I may go to have another one right now. I'm going to have a little break with some music. But that's pretty much what I'm saying. My first tip to have a great coffee, please, try to figure it out how, but get some good fresh water. And this is something you should have it anywhere, no matter what. Guess what? Instead of doing a song, or before doing a song, I'm in a romantic mood today, since we've been talking all about these very serious, dramatic things, people rotting in jail, without due process, and the evil always surrounding us. Guess what? We fight back with love, and of course, we always have our rifles ready too. But meanwhile, let me share with you this poem. It's called For You. It's a poem that I wrote, I said this poem a long time ago, in 2000. But there is also a song. I will play first the poem, and then I'll play also the song for you. And you can dedicate this to anybody you want, man, woman, or between. But don't impose your personal sexuality on me. That's all I'm asking. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We'll look at that.
For you, I would like to be a tear, born from your eyes, live on your face, die on your lips. For you, I would like to be an angel, always staying by your side, never leave you alone in the darkness of this life. For you, I would like to be the wind, blowing softly through your hair, caressing you all night, sailing together in the sky. For you, I would like to be the ocean, let you swim to my arms, let you sink into my love, never leave you alone. To be the world and everything to you, but tonight I'm just a man, and I love you.
Of this life, I would like to be the wind, softly through your hair, caressing you all night, so together sky. I would like to be the ocean. Could you swim into my arms? Could you sink into my love? Never leaving you alone. For you, for you, for you. Oh baby, just for you, for you, for you, for you. Oh baby, just for you. I would like to be the world, everything to you. Tonight I'm just a man. Oh baby, just for you. I would like to be the world, everything to you. Tonight I'm just a man. Oh baby, and I love you. Like to be the tear born from your eyes, live on your face, die on your lips for you.
Okay, that was For You. I want to share for you first the poem that pretty much started the song. And then, of course, the song. I have two versions. One is the, let's say, I don't want to call it rock, but this is the most, sang by the man, okay? Then also I created the acoustic that it's only available on iTunes or Amazon digital format, that it's performed by the woman. So it's the woman singing to the man. This is one of the way you can support the show. Not only the coffee, of course, I appreciate it, but also downloading any of my songs. In the last, 15 years or so, I put together more than 100 songs out there. You can go to Amazon.com, but the best way is Zana.us, www.zana.us. And for just 99 cents, you can get one of my songs and at the same time keep the show free. Now, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the people that are listening, even if you don't agree, to put up with me. Sometimes, it's kind of rough when we go through what we're going through, to keep sanity, to keep also the patience. I'm telling you, it's very hard. Sometimes I lose my patience a little bit. But we are here, and I tell you, I'm here. Sometimes I say, why am I doing this? What is the point? There is not really any type of, for me, there is no ambition to be a radio guy. I said, I don't care. All I know that I make a bigger target for myself. And it would be not enough money to pay that. So it's not about the money. It is not about the desire to be the radio guy. Couldn't care. I have so many beautiful things I can do in my life. I could use these hours right now, for example, cooking. I could use this hour making money in a good way, in a freedom way. This is for me a form of activism. This is a form of love. It's a form of commitment that I have when I took the oath to become a citizen of this country. And the point is, sometimes you heard my first hour. I had to do things that it's almost heartbreaking. I have people that I know. I don't want to call them friends because friends is a big word for me. But people that I know, we did the shows together and we do things. My job now, when I jump on behind this microphone, it is not anymore to keep my personal friendship or things that could be personal. But my first commitment is to the truth. And I don't care if I talk about Senator McCain or the scumbag of Obama or anybody out there of our local candidates running for county sheriff. I'm not here to side for anybody but the truth. So sometimes can be a very tough position, telling you. Because after all, we live in this community. But I said, I have no personal, I remember when I was friend with the sheriff, our county sheriff, at least pretty close to him, Sheriff Sheen. But when I found out that, unfortunately, the Sheriff Sheen did not perform as a sheriff as I wanted to, as I think the Constitution said that day, in front of the county building, when I was asking him, what type of law am I breaking right now to pass out a flyer? It was about the voting record of the piece of trash of Senator McCain, by the way. And the sheriff said, I don't know. And of course, and then from there, all the hell unleashed, I have no personal allegiance to none. That's my point. That's why I'm on this show. All I try to do, to bring you facts, to bring you the truth, and share it with love. That's it. And I hope more people are going to get involved, because as I said, I don't care if you have a microphone or not. You can do your job. You can do your duty, even at your dinner table with your family. Start to talk. Write a letter to the editor. Get involved. Do something. Because if you don't understand what's going on now, we're already too late. I mean, look what happened just the last 10, 15 years, and for sure the last 8 years with this piece of trash is completely bringing us to a complete new level of tyranny. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bush started us up very well. And before Bush, of course, Clinton. But now we are a new level. This is so serious. I mean, I never know when it's going to be my last show. I'm amazed I'm still around. I mean, all the people that I know that I've been talking, I had on my show, they are right now sitting in some federal prison waiting for charges that they are incredible, more than 100 years in jail they are facing for conspiracy. My show is a conspiracy from the beginning to the end. Yes, I understand. I'm conspiring for freedom. I'm conspiring for the Constitution. I'm conspiring to expose the corruption in this government. If that's a conspiracy, that makes you guilty, I'm guilty. So I said, I do my best. I don't know how long I'm going to be around. So it's better you start to do, if you believe what I'm doing is, I don't say it's right, but I'm trying to do my best. You understand that. You better start to do your little part too. Don't be afraid, please. And I appreciate every citizen, every American, every human being out there, that whenever he sees or she sees evil or corruption, you guys, you are the first line of defense. You are the one to watch the watchers. Great job for that. Maybe sometimes you may be wrong. That's fine. Regardless, you keep your eyes open and you try. That's the point. Now, God's willing, I will talk to you next Sunday. I want to remind you also, please, I have some beautiful t-shirts out there. Seriously. Go to zannaart.com or go to lovegunsfreedom.com. You will see the t-shirts. One of my favorites about the chemtrails. Look up, speak up. Don't be a spineless coward. Start to speak up. And if you really mean it, that you understand what's going on, support people like me. And I'm not just saying me, people like me that we've been doing that for years. Just $15, get your t-shirt, free shipping. zannaart.com. Thank you very much for listening. Talk to you next Sunday, God willing. You'll be listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States .fm network.